Yo, it's your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics, back at you with a new video. Today is Monday, October 9th, 2023, with your boy Ryan and the Northwest Sports Fanatics. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Smash that like button either now or on your way out. Donate to your boy if you can. Cash App, $ORION NWSF, or the YouTube Super Chat right here. We got Monday Night Football, Green Bay Packers versus the Las Vegas Raiders. Kickoff is going to be here in about 15 minutes. Hope everyone is having a fantastic day. And we got a few more minutes of pregame to get situated. Hope everyone is doing well. Daniel in the building, what it do? And hopefully this ends up being a decent matchup. Everyone is picking the Packers to win and to win big. You never know. That's why Monday Night Football, Thursday Night Football, and Sunday Night Football gets a little bit crazy. I don't want to say that this is a trap game for the Green Bay Packers, but definitely very overconfident that they're going to end up winning this game. So the only way that the Raiders have a shot is if you end up getting good play from Jimmy G, Pone Star Jimmy, Josh Jacobs, Devontae Adams, and if the defense can actually get some sack lunches and some picks and pressures on Jordan Love. So, in most cases, that better team typically wins, but you never know. Maybe it ends up being a little bit closer than people think, like a 24-20 kind of score, or you might end up getting the upset alert and maybe the Raiders come out on top somehow, some way. I'm only up by 19 and some change in fantasy, and they have Jordan Love, Josh Jacobs, and Green Bay D. So the only way I'm going to be able to win is if we get 8 points out of Jordan Love, 8 points out of Josh Jacobs, and 3 points out of the Green Bay defense, which would essentially mean that the Raiders would have to play insane and Devontae Adams would have to do his thing. I'm not expecting to win at fantasy this week, but you never know. Sarah in the building, what's good? Let's get to 100 in donos. And it's crazy, that number one seed, it seems like, the last 2 years, with the number one record, that team ends up getting knocked off, but also they have more of a break, than those other teams that are playing in these wild card matchups. So maybe they need to go back to the old format. Otherwise, you're going to start seeing the number one and number two seeds start going down every single year, and it gives the advantage to those wild card teams, not the team that end up having the best record, or if we have less days off in between games. I'm not sure what direction they're going to go, but it seems like every team, right, that ended up getting the 1 or the 2 seed, the Dodgers and Braves, they don't look good, right? And then you obviously got the Orioles and the Astros. Astros are taking care of business, even though they had the Twins last night. We know what happened there, but it seems like that away team with the Rangers, they're taking care of business. So you're seeing the Diamondbacks take care of business. You're seeing the Phillies take care of business, right? You're starting to see 3 out of the 4 teams take care of business. And obviously Minnesota is the worst team left with the Minnesota Twins. I don't think anyone anticipated them really winning the series, let alone a game or two against the Houston Astros. But it is what it is, and you never know what might end up happening. But it feels like it's going to be Rangers, Astros, and could we actually get Phillies, Diamondbacks? And if we end up getting that, the Phillies are going to represent. I would find it very hard to believe the Diamondbacks are the Cinderella story, and they're going to go all the way to the World Series and even knock off the hottest team. Because the hottest team in the National League is the Phillies. The hottest team in the American League is the Rangers. So I'm not sure if we're going to get both of those teams, but they are progressing nicely as we're going a little bit further. Braves down 4-0. Who would have thought, right? But again, it's not if you're the best team, right? It's if you're the hottest and if you're the healthiest. And that applies to football and the NFL as well. It's not just because you're the number one seed, but sometimes seeds that sit there too long, they get a little comfortable, and then obviously they're not in a rhythm. They don't have any Uncle Mo because they haven't played in like a week or longer. And obviously the teams that are in the wild card hunt, they're playing every day or every other day. So they're in a rhythm. And like I know, with me and obviously my dreams and my goals, when I'm in a rhythm, I feel better. I don't like sitting there with a day off. I don't like taking days off. If I know I can do 5, 6, 7 reaction videos and do a live stream or 2, I feel good. When I feel that like I don't have anything to do, that's when I start getting anxious and a little anxiety. And I don't want to necessarily say depression, because I feel that everyone needs to take time off. But for certain people, it's good to stay busy. It allows your mind not to overthink. You have a plan, you stick to it, you grind, and here we are. Megan in the building. What's good? How are you? Yeah, and like I said, I don't really, know how the baseball playoffs are going to pan out. But am I surprised that the Phillies are dominating the Braves? To a certain degree, I am, but not necessarily fully shocked because the Phillies and the Rangers were the hottest going into the end of the regular season, and obviously they're showing that hey, it's not about if you're the best record, Atlanta Braves, right? It's about who's the hottest, and Wheeler and company and Bryce are doing big, big things, and we'll just see how far it goes. The Phillies came up short last year. Are they going to end up being champions this year? If you can get past, if you can get past the Braves, easily can get past the Dodgers or Diamondbacks, you would think. And then the hard test will be Astros or Rangers because it looks like right now with the Minnesota Twins being the worst team. I wish that was the Mariners at this point, but maybe next year. We know the Twins have no shot. I thought the Orioles would put up a little bit more of a fight, but it shows you, they're brand new. They haven't been here before. The Astros and Rangers have been in this position and have been, close to a World Series or in the World Series in the last 10 years. The same thing goes for the Braves, the Phillies, and the Dodgers. But with the Diamondbacks, them being that new team, sometimes you get that player, that Corbin Carroll that kind of comes out of nowhere, or maybe doesn't really come out of nowhere. We've known he's been good, and he just steps up in the biggest moments possible. So definitely excited to see how the baseball playoffs pan out. And I won't lie, the Green Bay Packers and the Raiders, it would assume that 99% of the country is going to be going for Green Bay. But you know what? If the Raiders win, it wouldn't make me happy or sad. I don't think I would really feel either way. But if I could have the Raiders win, that wouldn't bother me, one bit. Especially I'm only up by 19 and some change, and they got Jordan Love, Josh Jacobs, Green Bay D. So the only way I'm going to win in fantasy if they score 19 and then I win by 0.5 something, So it's not likely, but you never know. Big facts. But we already know the Raiders are not a good football team, and I feel the Green Bay Packers are kind of like the Dallas Cowboys. They're okay. They're okay. They can win 10 games, but I don't think they're going to beat anybody in the playoffs. Personally, I think the Seattle Seahawks, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and the Detroit Lions are better than the Cowboys or the Packers. Now, the Cowboys and Packers can still get 10 wins, and they could win a playoff game, but the best teams in the NFC are by far the Eagles and the Niners. They are the two best teams in football. Number 3, I would go Detroit Lions. But if the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Baker Mayfield, right, if we end up beating Detroit this weekend, then the Tampa talk is going to start circling, and Tampa will be up there as maybe one of the top 6 or 7 teams in the NFL, especially if we can beat the number 3 or number 4 team in the Detroit Lions. So right now, I think in my pecking order, I think I would probably go Niners 1. I think I would go Eagles 2, but it's pretty much 1A, 1B. Then I would probably go either Detroit Lions or Miami Dolphins at 3. So if we want to go Miami Dolphins at 3, Detroit Lions at 4, I think it's pretty accurate right now based on how those 4 teams have been playing. Big facts. You got off a little bit early. Nice. Go Phillies, baby. And like I said, I feel that the Phillies are going to be that team that's going to be considered a top 3 team in the National League moving forward with the Braves and the Dodgers. And if the Braves and Dodgers have injuries or just play like shit, right, whose fan base is louder and more passionate than Philadelphia? It's not sometimes Los Angeles fans will get rowdy. Sometimes the Atlanta Braves fans will get rowdy with the Atlanta Brave chop. But, I think, person for person, as great as the Dodger fans are across the globe, and as great as the Braves fans are, I think the Philly fans are more rowdy, just like the Eagle fans. And I think those Philly fans are willing them, past Atlanta and also trying to will them to the World Series and win. And on the flip side, I don't think you have a fan base in the American League like Philadelphia with the Rangers and the Astros. They have fans, they're passionate, right? They know what's up, but I would normally want someone like the Orioles to go in or maybe someone, a sleeper team. But obviously the Minnesota Twins are not good enough. Now, if Minnesota was replaced with Seattle, then that's a different story because Seattle fans are passionate as well. But Philadelphia riding high with those passionate fans, and maybe they'll end up getting to the World Series. Because if you can get past the Braves, you easily can get past the Dodgers or the Diamondbacks, in my opinion. The tough test will be for Philadelphia when they go and play against the Astros or the Rangers in the World Series. Can you win that series? And in most cases, I would assume that you can. but that might be the kryptonite because, like I said, we know that the Astros and Rangers, they're just as hot as Philadelphia. So I don't really know what is going to happen. Big facts. You know what? I kind of think that too. Maybe it's just the fantasy in me trying to be able to come up with like a sport god miracle, like I predicted with like Kittle getting like 3 tutties and, obviously getting a long 50-yard kick last night, for him to be able to get 5 points. And I already knew that, more than likely that was going to end up happening from my boy Reflect. But sometimes if you talk it into existence, crazy shit happens. This is a trap game, but the only way that I think the Raiders are going to be able to get it done, you have to sack lunch Jordan Love a shitload. You're going to have to get a couple picks on him. Max Crosby's going to have to play lights out, and Devontae Adams is going to have to score 2 or 3 times, and Josh Jacobs probably has to get in at least once. So I don't know if that can happen tonight. They are at home, so at least it's not on the road in Lambeau. But nothing would make me happier than seeing the Packer fans lose, especially on the road to a shitty team like the Raiders. And if I can end up winning my fantasy matchup this week, even if it's only by 0.50, and you can get 8 points out of Jordan Love, 8 points out of Josh Jacobs, and 3 points out of the defense for Green Bay. That's who he has left. I have nobody left. It would be literally a miracle from the sports gods. So for whatever reason, if that ends up happening, you know that there's something in the air and I'm a time traveler or something of that nature. Let's go, baby. You think Jacobs is going to go off? Well, I hope he doesn't go off too much because I'm going against him. But again, when you end up having 5 guys either injured or 5 main guys in your 9 that are either injured or on a bye, it's almost impossible. And I've made like 40 plus moves, up to this point, preparing myself for this tough week, but I got nothing out of the defense with Buffalo. I got nothing out of my kickers. And normally you have to hit closer to 20 points with kicker and defense to win. And I got a combined, what did I get? 6. So I've never scored that low before, but I couldn't give up any of my pieces on the bench for a better defense or a better kicker for just a 1-week flyer. So sometimes you just have to take the L, but you never know. Maybe the sports gods will treat me to something crazy, or maybe Jordan Love will get nicked up and maybe get a sprained ankle and he'll go out when he only has 5 to 8 points. Maybe Josh Jacobs doesn't have the greatest game, and maybe Green Bay defense only puts up a 3, and the Raiders win the game, and then I can end up winning in fantasy. It's a little pipe dream, I know, but you never know. Let's go, baby. And I'm really excited about this weekend because not only do I get to watch my Tampa Bay Buccaneers possibly lose to the Detroit Lions, but we get to wear the creamsicles. So starting this weekend, you're going to start to see, the Tennessee Titans with the Houston Oilers, obviously with those throwbacks, the Seahawks with their throwbacks, Philadelphia with the Kelly Greens, and Tampa Bay with the creamsicles. So everyone's got their game that they're wearing their particular jerseys in. Tampa's is this weekend. I don't know if the other 3 teams, Seahawks, Titans, and who's the other one? Seahawks, Titans, and the Eagles are wearing theirs this weekend also, or it's later in the year. But I do know that we're going to be wearing the creamsicles with the old school helmet. I will wear my Doug Williams jersey. We will do that game at 1 o'clock. And I'm very excited because even if we lose, I like rooting for the Lions. They're like the lovable loser. Like I said, the 2 teams that I root for the most, besides Tampa Bay, are going to be number 1, San Francisco 49ers, because I've always been a 49er kid growing up. Heart to heart, true and true. Joe Montana, Jerry Rice, Dion, those have always been my guys. And if I wasn't a Tampa fan, I would be a Niner fan. Love me some Kyle Shanahan. And I got the John Lynch connection from Tampa to San Francisco's GM. So I have a lot of connections between Tampa and San Francisco. And then the other team I root for every single year is the Detroit Lions. And it feels good that finally they actually have the right coach, Dan Campbell, the right quarterback, Jared Goff in the offense. They got Montgomery. They got Gibbs. They got Amon-Ra St. Brown. They got Josh Reynolds. They got Marvin Jones. They got all the pieces, including Sam Laporta, Penei Sewell, Ragnow, Aiden Hutchinson. Like, they got everything that I want in a Detroit Lion team. And it's exciting to think that the Detroit Lions are the 4th best team in football right now. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? So if I'm going to go with my top 5, I'm going to go 49ers 1, Eagles 2, Dolphins 3, Lions 4, and then I'm going to go Kansas City Chiefs 5. Just because the Chiefs, I normally would put them at like 2 or 3, but they've been winning games, and they're 4-1, but they've been winning ugly. And I just feel that right now the Dolphins and the Lions look a little bit better. but still, you can't discredit the Kansas City Chiefs and what they're doing. And then obviously the Buffalo Bills, they ended up dropping one to the Jags, and now they have injuries to Milano, which sucks, out for the year, as well as Tre'Davious White. So even though I thought it could be a Bills-Niners Super Bowl, if the Bills have these continuous injuries, then it's going to come down to probably a 3-team race between the Miami Dolphins, right, the Buffalo Bills, and the Kansas City Chiefs. So, and then on the NFC side, San Francisco 49ers, Philadelphia Eagles, Detroit Lions, and then maybe a sleeper team in there between the Seahawks, the Buccaneers, right, and then maybe someone else. We'll have to wait and see. And then obviously behind them, you got the Packers and the Cowboys, to me, that are pretenders. So, Casey in the building, what's good? Yeah, but the Lions don't have enough depth to keep up with the Niners and Eagles, though. And I'm like the biggest Lions supporter. I've been supporting them since they drafted Joey Harrington on the Lions. Barry Sanders was there. I've always been a Megatron guy. Herman Moore. Like, I've always watched all their games and I've always rooted for them. And the Lions are good, but you got to understand, if they go to Philadelphia or San Fran, they'll get obliterated. They'll be able to keep up for a little bit, but they're not going to be able to beat Philadelphia or San Fran. Those are Super Bowl teams, and those two teams are better than any team in the NFC or the AFC. And here we go. Let's go, Raiders. Oh, my God. Lions-Bucks is going to be fantastic. Two likable teams. Obviously, Baker playing much better than anyone ever anticipated. And if the Bucks actually beat the Lions, there is going to be talks of possibly the Buccaneers being a top 7 team. Because I think most people right now, they feel they're like maybe a top 12. But if they can beat the Lions, who might be the 4th best team in football, Niners, Eagles, Niners, you can flip-flop those two. Dolphins and Lions can be flip-flopped as well. And then you got the Chiefs. That's kind of how I feel it's going down. But hopefully we can end up getting a little bit upset alert, and we can get the Raiders with their Super Bowl performance tonight. Halfback toss. Come on, Raiders. Let's go, Max Crosby. Let's go. Reflect in the building. What's good, brother? No Aaron Jones. There's an opportunity. I don't know. This seems like a trap game for the Green Bay Packers, and if they don't lose, they're not going to win by a lot. I really feel that it's going to be between 4 points and less. As long as the defense, can do their job, right? As long as Max Crosby and company, they can do their job. They can force a couple turnovers, a couple sack lunches, a couple interceptions, fluster Jordan Love. Max Crosby plays like the OG that he is. I mean, there's not a whole lot to like for the Raiders, but I love me some Josh Jacobs. I love me some Davante Adams, but the one that I love the most is Max Crosby. That guy can play on any team. I just wish the Raiders had 5 Max Crosbys, then they could actually be something. Big fact. I'm a defensive guy through and through, baby. Week 8 against the Bears. Nice. 3rd down and 2. Love, Dylan, and they barely get the first down. Sarah with $1. Appreciate you. Every dollar counts. Bang, bang, bang. Boom, boom, boom. Bang, bang. Appreciate y'all very, very much. We'll give Green Bay their proper due diligence, even though, there's only a few teams in the NFL that I don't really care for. I'm not going to say that I hate, but it doesn't make me sad when I see certain teams lose. Oh, baby, bang, 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 boom, boom, boom. A 2 from Reflect. Thank you. $3.97 to go. Let me know what you guys want for photos, and I'll get you there. Little check down. And there's a flag on the play that's coming back due to a hold. And hopefully the Packers can shoot themselves in the foot. Let's go. 3 doll hairs. Let's go, baby. Crown Jewel, Seth Rollins versus Drew McIntyre. That's a good matchup. Let's go. And, like I said, I keep it 100, though. You know what I mean? And like I said, the Lions are playing great football. Hell, I got fucking David Montgomery. I'm on Ross St. Brown. I got many pieces in fantasy with the Lions on my roster. But you got to understand, too, last year, season opener, field goal. But look at the team and the product that you're getting. Is it possible that the Lions or the Dolphins or the Chiefs, could end up beating the Eagles or the Niners? Yes, it could happen. But based on how those teams have been playing, those are the Super Bowl contenders where they look like they can win it all. I'm not sure if you can say that the Chiefs or the Lions or the Dolphins look like championship teams. They look like playoff teams, but I'm not sure if they have enough depth, besides Aiden Hutchinson and a few others. I'm not sure if that defense is good enough to stop Philly or if the defense is good enough to stop San Fran. Because to me, San Francisco is better than Philadelphia. They have a better linebackers and better secondary, and I think that's the bugaboo. That's the only difference between Philly and San Fran is that San Fran doesn't have any holes, right? They're clean all the way through on offense, defense, and special teams. But the linebackers and the secondary concern me with Philadelphia. Not so much the linebackers, only a slight smidge, but the secondary bothers me for Philadelphia. So if you can throw the ball, you're going to be able to score on them. 2nd down and 4. 12 minutes left in the first quarter. Bakhtiari out for the year, yes. Handoff. Hit his ass. First down, Packers. Kraken Golden Knights. Hell yeah. And that's the first game of the season, isn't it? Odin Son with a 6er. Thank you so much. You know what? If the Niners and Eagles played today, I honestly feel whoever had home field would win. If Philadelphia was at home, they would win. If San Fran was at home, they would win. I just don't think that either team, we'll find out week 13 because San Fran is going to go to Philadelphia. And if they can win, in regular season, then we'll see if they can do it later on. Hit him. But if Philadelphia ends up winning at home in the regular season matchup, the Niners can always get payback in the playoffs, and it's always better to win in the playoffs than in the regular season. Thank you, Odin son. I appreciate you, brother. Nice that we're getting a little bit of a dono train. We got limited people, but almost half of the people in the room are showing love, and I appreciate that. It means everything to me. Thank you so much. Bang, 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 boom, boom, boom. Bang, 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 baby. Keep me updated on hockey with Kraken, baseball, and the playoffs. Hit his ass. Got to punch that ball out, baby. And I thank you to Megan as well. No problem. Bang, 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 boom, boom, boom. Bang, bang. So what do we want to do tomorrow? Do we want to do the Kraken tomorrow? Is it the first regular season game is tomorrow? It's Kraken and the Vegas Golden Knights. What time is the game on? So we could either do the Kraken tomorrow or we can end up doing baseball playoffs tomorrow. I wouldn't mind doing the Kraken game, honestly. I don't know what kind of turnout we would get, but I mean, it's good to start early, and try to get a Kraken fan base built. 3rd down and 3. Hit him! Intercepted! Oh, baby! Let's go, Raiders! And I don't root for the Raiders very often, but if they're going against a team that I don't like the Green Bay Packers, I don't like the team. I just never have. I don't like the way they operate. I don't like the fan base that much. Now, is there good Packer fans? Yeah, there is. There's some amazing Packer fans, but a lot of them, not for me. Not for me. 4th down and 3. Fourth down and 3. Come on, Raiders. Come on, Max Crosby. Shotgun set. See if they're going to try to draw them off sides. Stay patient. Up, and they're going to punt. Good job. Raiders have one of the worst defenses, right? One of the worst defenses in football, and the Packers can't even move the ball. Why? Because you don't got Aaron Jones. Nothing would make me happier than if the Raiders win this game. Sports gods, you hear me? All right, and I'm only up by 19 and some change. But with that being said, right? With that being said, they have Jordan Love, right? So he's got to put up 8, right? They have Josh Jacobs. So Ray, the player, would have to win, but maybe he doesn't do as much. He can put up 8, and then I need that Green Bay defense to put up a 3, and then that will be 19 exactly, and then I would end up winning this week in fantasy by like 0.58. So I know that's asking a lot from the sports gods, but if they can control the football, get some picks, get some sack lunches. Max Crosby has a career day, 3-4 sack lunches, and then Devontae Adams goes in the end zone once, twice, maybe even 3 times, right? Then maybe we can get a miracle. You feel me? You feel me? Yeah, but the thing is, Casey, I deal with fans of every single team. I mean, I'm not just doing Tampa Bay Buccaneer coverage and that's it. I mean, I do NFC South. I cover every single team as if it were my own, and no one else on YouTube does that. I try to keep it 100 and keep it real. So everyone, there's going to be good fans and bad fans of every single franchise. Period. But you can't judge it just based on one person or a couple. Let me see here. It's 7:30 Eastern, so it'd be 5:30. Let me look. And let me see here. Nice job by the Phillies beating up on the Braves. I know Braves fans are probably disappointed with the way that they've been playing. Let me see here. So, all right, take a quick peek here, and I'll get some photos for the people that donated. I haven't forgot about y'all. We got Diamondbacks and Dodgers later tonight. See if the Diamondbacks can win again. Sorry, Dad. And then we got Astros and Twins at 1. Wouldn't do that game anyways. So it's either going to be Orioles, Rangers tomorrow after I do reaction videos all morning, right? Or we're going to end up doing the Kraken tomorrow, which would be at 7:30 p.m. Kraken and the Golden Knights. So, yeah, I mean, like I said, I don't really have any affiliation with the other matchup with the Rangers and the O's besides just wanting to do some playoff baseball. So I'll let you guys decide. I mean, if you guys are going to be here tomorrow, I wouldn't mind doing the Kraken and doing the Golden Knights. Maybe we'll end up doing that. But I'll do a poll tomorrow morning, and I'm kind of leaning more towards Kraken. I mean, I've already done a shitload of baseball coverage. I already did over like 100 live streams for the Mariners. I did a little bit of Dodgers and Cardinals and Braves, and I sprinkled in some of your guys' teams, the Padres, right? So I don't really care that much about necessarily that game, Rangers and O's. Would I enjoy it? Yeah, but I think maybe we'll end up doing the Kraken maybe tomorrow. Kraken and the Golden Knights. It's the first game of the regular season, right? So maybe we'll do that. But I'll do a poll in the morning. So if you want me to do the Kraken game, let me know in the poll tomorrow morning. But that's where I'm kind of leaning right now. I did not know that it was actually tomorrow. There we go. First down, Raiders. Move the chains. This is a trap game for the Packers. Let's go, Raiders. You know what, though? Hey, guy, you had a lot of depression and a lot of misery with the Raiders. But have you ever had O-Dog and the sports gods behind you? Have you ever had that? If you got O-Doggy Dog and the sports gods, and if I start saying shit and I start like talking into the universe, crazy shit starts happening. I mean, I usually have 2 or 3 ESP moments on every stream. Could they listen? I'm not sure if they're going to listen because we already know the Raiders are not on the same level as the Packers. But the Packers are overrated. They're like the Cowboys. They're pretenders. If they get to the playoffs, who are they going to beat? Right? If it ends up being the Lions, the Buccaneers, or the Seahawks, we can beat that fucking team. We can beat the Packers. We can beat the Cowboys. They're not that good. Just because they're famous team names and they have a lot of fans across the country, all that tells me is that a lot of their fans are depressed because they fucking lose every year. All right? Packers are overrated. The Cowboys are even more overrated than them. The Seahawks, the Bucks, and the Lions are more a real deal than those 2 teams. So we'll see. We'll see. The best teams are the Niners and the Eagles. Then Lions, Bucks, Seahawks. Then below them, Packers, and then below them, obviously the Cowboys. So, all right. Well, I'm just saying, we'll see. If the Raiders end up winning this game, then you know that I and the sports gods had a little bit of part of into it. And if I can end up getting my fantasy matchup where they only put up 19, all right, and I can win by 0.58 in a week I shouldn't win at all, then we know something's going on with the time travel. Baby, let's go. All right. It's funny though that like Zach Moss decided to play good football. Why didn't he play like that in the first month? All of a sudden they paid Jonathan Taylor the money, and then he had like his career day. Kind of funny how that worked out. He's like, "Oh, I probably should start playing good football now." But at least he did it, better late than never. You might as well switch teams if you're a Cowboy fan because as long as Jerry Jones is there with Dak and McCarthy, all you guys are going to do is win 9, 10, 11 games every year, and then you're going to get disappointed every single year. Things need to change, and that starts with ownership. Just like Dan Snyder getting the hell out of there at Washington, if you're not going to be able to get those pieces out of there, you're just going to have misery over and over. Troy Aikman ain't walking in that door. Michael Irvin ain't walking in that door. Emmitt Smith ain't walking in that door. And they thought, oh, let's get rid of Kellen Moore. That'll solve the problems. Actually, it made it worse. And like I said, Dak is overrated. It's just being honest. Like I said, I've watched the guy's whole career. I rooted for him. I defended him. But when you get to a certain point after the first year, and then the second year, and then the third year, and the fourth year, and the fifth year, and you don't really get better, there's certain aspects of Dak's game where he's gotten slightly better from the 20 to the 20 or in the red zone, but he still makes dumbass throws. He still throws in a double and triple coverage like Josh Allen, and you can't count on him late in the season. He plays good typically in September and October like Kyler Murray, and then when it gets November and December in the playoffs, they nut up and they play like shit. And that's just, an observation. That's just true, I keep it 100, always. Papa Murphy's good. Yeah. What are you getting? What did you get? The Cowboy pizza? What did you get? Or just pepperoni? All right, come on, Raiders. I haven't rooted for the Raiders in a game in a long, long time. Just because they haven't really been on prime time that much, right? But I do love me some Davante Adams, and he does have the ability, to do special things. And like I said, this game could be a lot closer than people think. Some people thought that this was going to be like a 14 to 17 point blowout, which it could be, but it also could be a lower scoring game, 24-20. And depending on what you end up getting with Davante Adams, if they have enough time on that O line, maybe they can have like the game of their life today. You never know. The Packers should win, but I bet sports gods. I'm trying to talk it into existence. Yeah, yeah. Jimmy G, Austin Hooper with a short game, and like I said, we've seen a lot of guys. DJ Moore 3 tutties, right? George Kittle 3 tutties, right? You just need to be able to get that 3 tutties. Ja'Marr Chase 3 tutties. Get Davante Adams the ball early and often. Kraken and Golden Knights. I think that's what we're doing tomorrow. And, obviously me being a Kraken fan too, on top of that, it's first game of the season. So I think that's what we're going to do tomorrow. We'll do the Kraken, and then we'll do the Vegas Golden Knights tomorrow at 7:30. Sounds good. And then I can always do baseball the next day if need be. Oh, it's 12 noon. You know what time it is? Time for a sack lunch. Yum, 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 yum. Packers. And then let me see what's on for baseball on that next day. And then we would do Dodgers and Diamondbacks at 6 on Wednesday. So we can get a little bit of everything. Get a little bit of streaming there for my dad. I can watch Corbin Carroll from the Pacific Northwest, and then we can do Kraken tomorrow. So I think that works out good. A little bit of football, a little hockey, and then when we transition to NBA, I'll do a little Blazers, and I'll do a little bit of Dame Dalla for the Bucks and Giannis, and a few of the other teams as well. You can't put someone on IR unless it's designated IR. If they're injured, you can only put them on the IR slot as if it says IR. So let me check to see if it actually says that on our league yet. Let me look. No, so it just says out. So you can't even move him in that spot. And also, you have an empty spot on your bench. Never do that. Anytime you have an empty spot on the bench, that is a free player that you're just are not filling a spot. So never, never, ever have an open spot on your bench ever. Always fill that slot because it doesn't necessarily mean you have to keep that person forever, but at least you can have that person, or you can decide to keep them or get rid of them the following week. So you can't put them on IR. Yeah, and I would probably just put him on your bench and keep him there because when he comes back, he will be valuable as long as he can stay healthy. Yeah, but you got to make a lot of adjustments and moves. You're starting to see some teams, putting up, 120 to 200 points, getting 60 points and 80 points. That ain't going to cut it. You know what I mean? It all depends. The more effort you put into fantasy, the better results you're going to get. And the more you know about the league as a whole, the better you're going to do. And this is your first year, so there's going to be some growing pains. Dylan with the short game. $15. Let's get to a hundo. Get the likes up. And the Rangers could sweep tomorrow. They very well could. It's going to probably come down to the Rangers and the Astros, and then the Braves, and maybe the Diamondbacks, unless the Dodgers can get into full gear. But I mean, I wouldn't mind. I know my dad's been a fan of the Dodgers since the 50s. I hate to say it, but I kind of want the Diamondbacks to beat the Dodgers because I think the Dodgers are kind of like the Cowboys. They're kind of frauds this year. And I wouldn't say that unless I really meant it. I just don't think the Dodgers are World Series caliber this year. And, same thing goes with the Dallas Cowboys. They're frauds. They're not real. They're just a team that will win 9 to 10 wins. But, I don't even know if the Cowboys could beat the Seahawks, the Lions, or even the Buccaneers. They definitely can't beat the Niners or the Eagles. But if it's the next tier of teams, can you even beat, the Seahawks, the Lions, or the Bucs? I don't think so. So unless you had home field advantage, you got extremely lucky. But personal foul. But the thing is, you and Megan are biased for the Seahawks. I do it based off product. Yes, you guys ended up beating the Detroit Lions one-on-one, but who has looked better overall from beginning to this point, the Seahawks or the Lions? And that solves the question right there. I don't have to have bias, for this team or that team. Yeah, I like the Niners and I like the Lions, but it's not like I would be like, oh, the Lions are the best team in the NFC when they weren't. But legitimately, they are one of the best balanced teams in the NFL besides the Eagles and the Niners. Do you think that the Seahawks have more balance than the Lions? They don't. Your secondary is better, but your defense isn't better. You know what I'm saying? So I keep it 100. And it's not like I hate the Seahawks. I like rooting for them, and I want them to do well. Your secondary is good, but I don't trust, the D-line and the linebackers as much as I do on Detroit side. So yeah, but you love the Seahawks. You and Megan love them, and you're always going to give them more credit than others. You know what I mean? Like with me, with the Bucs, like even if we beat the Lions, this weekend, I don't necessarily think I'm better than them. Even if we beat them this week, even if our record says so. I think the Lions have more a quality team. So even if my Bucs beat the Lions this weekend, I'm not going to be like, oh, Bucs are the third best team in the NFC because I don't think they are. That's just me being real. So, of course, I love Dan Campbell. I've always loved them, but I keep it real. But ask other people in the room. Ask other people in the room if they think that the Seahawks are better than the Lions. You're not going to get one person agreeing with you besides Megan, and that's fans of other teams that are in the room. Ask them. If they actually think the Seahawks are better than the Lions, they're not going to agree with you. I mean, I can't speak for everyone in the room, but I would have a high educated guess that most people feel the Lions could be the third or fourth best team in the NFC behind the Niners and the Eagles. And there's a big gap between those two teams and then the third and the fourth team. Same thing goes with the Chiefs, the Bills, and the Dolphins. Who's the best team in the AFC? No one knows. I thought it could be the Bills, but not now with Milano and Tre'Davious White out. They keep getting injured, right? And the Dolphins don't have a defense. And I don't like the way the Chiefs have really been playing this year. So it's like I don't really know who's the best in the AFC. It's kind of like a 3-team push. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but you're basing it off one game reflect that you beat them one time. What about the rest of the games that you've played up to this point? Like beating the Giants is one thing, but that's a dog shit team. I'm just saying my opinion. You can have your opinion as a Seahawks fan, and one-on-one matchups might mean more to you than they do to me. But even if the Bucs end up winning and then we end up going 4-1, I'm not going to say the Buccaneers are the third best team in the NFC. Just saying. Because if I had that mindset, then I would be saying that same thing, But I don't think the Bucs are the third best team, even if we end up having a 4-1 record. I think we're a surprise team, but I think the Lions have more depth than Tampa. From front, top to bottom, every level. So I think the Seahawks are good, and they're right there with the Bucks and the Lions. But that's just my personal opinion. I do it based off what I see on the field, and like I said, that's just how it goes. Because if I was so biased, then I would just be like, "Oh, the Bucks are going to beat the Lions. We're the third best team in the NFC." Do you think anyone would agree with me? Hell no. No one's going to agree with me, even if we whoop them. Everyone's got their opinion, right? But I'm just letting you know, if you ask other NFL fans that aren't Hawks fans, you're not going to get anybody saying that the Seahawks are better than the Lions. Yes, you beat them in their house in OT, but it's a product, it's an eye test, and you're looking at the eye test of the full product. Like, does anyone think the Chiefs look good this year? They don't. But you might get Chief fans that get pissed off at me saying that, that they don't look good. Yeah, you got the record, 3-1, 4-1, but you don't look good. The Bills, injuries on defense don't look good. Dolphins defense, they don't got one. They don't look good. Like, there's aspects of their game that look good, but if you're looking for balance, Eagles got it, Niners got it, and to me, out of the rest of the teams in the NFC, offense, defense, O-line, D-line, quarterback, running back, wide receiver, coach, I think the Lions are the third best team in the NFC based on what I see. Just that's what I'm saying. So, you can have your opinion and I can have my opinion. You know what I mean? But like I said, if you ask anybody else that's not a fan of the Seahawks, I don't know if you're going to get anybody to agree with you. Kick us up, and it's good. And I'm not saying everyone's got to copy me on how I think, but I feel that your defense is the reason why I can't choose you guys, because I don't trust your defense. I like your secondary, but I don't trust your linebackers or your front four compared to Detroit. I feel that it's better over there. That's just honest. Now, if you guys would have drafted Jalen Carter, right, and instead of getting obviously Witherspoon, and he's ended up being the number one rookie in sack lunches like he is, then maybe I say Seahawks. But at this point, I can't say it, at least just not yet. But it's close. And then who's to say that the Seahawks are better than the Buccaneers? Maybe we're better than you guys. I mean, who's better between the Bucs and Seahawks? I don't know. We'll have to wait and find out. Right. But it doesn't mean that they're going to represent the AFC. I mean, you're skating by, but if you can get an offense like a Josh Allen offense with Diggs with a really good game, or Tyreek and obviously Waddle and Tua, could the Dolphins or Bills beat the Chiefs? Finally, they haven't been able to do it after all these years, but finally, it seems like the Chiefs are wounded. Like, they're still good, but it's like they got shot in the leg and they're kind of limping. It's like they don't look smooth on offense. Defense is shaky at times, and that's not me being an asshole. That's just me watching the games and noticing that they don't really look that good. Now, the record is good, and they might still be better, than most of those other teams in the AFC. But I should know. I have fucking Patrick Mahomes in fantasy. I know how many points he's fucking getting. I know what's going on with the team. I watch every fucking game. They don't look good. Are they good enough still to win the AFC? Yes, but they're not going to win the Super Bowl. The NFC is going to win it this year, in my opinion. And there is a very good possibility that if there's any other injuries or something that slips up with Kansas City, Buffalo or Miami will take the spot. And I don't think that's crazy to say, because I think everyone thinks it, but maybe not everyone says it. So, but even Chiefs fans, they know it doesn't look good. Like, if the enemy was still there and if Juju was there, I think the team would be a little bit better. But also, the offensive line hasn't really played that well either, and the defense is a little suspect at times too. So. I'm just saying, if you had different pieces, in the lineup, things would be different. And you guys, again, you guys are Seahawks fans, so you're going to be Seahawks, 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 whether you realize it or not. You're always going to be Seahawks first, Seahawks this, Seahawks that. I don't do it based off that. I keep it real. I look at all the teams, I watch the games, and that's how it goes. But if you want to do it straight up because you beat their team and the rest of your wins don't look that good, how am I going to pick your team as the better team if I don't really feel that the quality of wins across the board is not overall better than just the one-on-one matchup where you beat the Lions? That's what I'm saying. It's not just one game. You know what I mean? Because if I beat them this weekend, what am I going to say? Oh, the Bucks are the third best team. We're right there with the Eagles and Niners. Then you guys would think I'm an idiot, right? Because even if we end up blowing out the Lions by 20, I still wouldn't say we're the third best team in the NFC. I wouldn't. I don't know. That's just me. But I mean, let's be real. If you have a team, and like I say, we'll see when things end up happening. But the bottom line, Seahawks, Bucks, and Lions are all right next to each other. We're all in a tie, right behind the Eagles and the Niners, and we're not on their level. I mean, at least we can come to that agreement right there. Okay, we'll see. We'll see as we get to the playoffs, and if it ends up being Bucks, Seahawks, and the Lions, we'll see who ends up being the best team out of the three. You know, and honestly, even though I'm a Bucks fan, I think that the Lions are the best team out of the three teams, and I'm a Buccaneer fan. So if I was biased, I would just say my team. You know, but I have to keep it honest. Why would I say the Lions over my own fucking team if I didn't believe it? Because I think they have better balance, better O line, better D line. I don't got an Aiden Hutchinson on my team. I don't got a Penei Sewell besides Tristan Wirfs. They got a Ragnow. I think, but injuries are going to be big moving forward in the season. So we'll see. We'll see. But, ultimately, all three of our teams, Bucks, Seahawks, and Lions, will probably end up falling short, to the Eagles or the Niners. We just got to hope that we don't play those teams early in the playoffs. Yeah, but just because you've owned the Lions, in the past, or even if you beat them this year, doesn't necessarily mean that overall that people think that the Seahawks are a better team than the Lions. Seahawks fans are going to believe that, but I think not just Lions fans, but I think other fans from other teams in the AFC and NFC would not agree with that. And that's not just being a hater towards the Seahawks or Seattle. It's just the eye test. That's all I'm saying. Now, if Seattle's defense played better, throughout collectively all the games, not counting that giant game with 11 sack lunches, then maybe we would flip it. But that's my opinion. So, but again, like I said, I'm not going to always be right on every single take and everything that I have, but I'm not wrong often. I do come up with quite a few predictions that come true. Yeah, it's what? It's not a mistake. What what I can't agree with Seahawk fans that are diehards that I think the Lions are better overall, even if you beat them on a one-on-one matchup. I mean, if the Seahawks end up making the NFC Championship, great. That would be awesome. You know what I mean? But I don't see it happening, and I don't necessarily see it happening for Tampa either. But if I could see a team that could go further, I would say it would be Detroit. Detroit looks like they could be the team that could go a little bit further than the Hawks or the Bucks. To me, they're the third best team in the NFC overall. To me, maybe not to you guys, but to me, they are. So, and then obviously on the pecking order, you got what? Chiefs, Bills, Dolphins. So what does it go? Chiefs, Dolphins, Bills. Everyone's pecking order will be a little different. Yeah, they might have said that early when you guys ended up beating them. But if you ask fans now who they think the better team is, I doubt that they would say Seattle. And it's not like I think they're a shitty team. I'm just being honest. It's 12 noon. You know what time it is. Time for a sack lunch. Yum, 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 yum. Again, you guys are going to have your opinions and I'm going to have mine. So we're not going to always agree. End of the first quarter, 3-0 Packers. Come on, Raiders. Well, if they're a real Lions fan, then they lied to you. Because if they actually think that the Hawks are better, then I don't know if they're watching Detroit Lion football. I mean, if it's based off the one-on-one matchup, yes, you guys ended up beating them. But if we're looking at the full product, I would say no. But again, we can agree to disagree. We'll find out as the season progresses. So, I mean, ultimately, it's going to come down to the Bucks and the Seahawks and the Lions. We're not winning the Super Bowl, so I mean, tit for tat. Arguing for no reason. We're not. None of the teams are good enough to beat Philadelphia or San Francisco. So, I mean, if we're all going to be arguing on whoever gets the third place prize in the NFC, I mean, does it really fucking matter? No, it doesn't. We're not good enough to win the Super Bowl this year. Not the three teams are not even close to being a Super Bowl caliber type of team. The Hawks aren't, the Bucks aren't, and if there was a team, I would say the Lions are closer, but they're not. But we'll see. We'll see whose prediction ends up being right moving forward. So we will see. But again, I'm not biased. I keep it real. I keep it honest. I see it, I watch it, I talk it. People won't agree. That's fine. But again, it's not like I put the Bucks on a pedestal and I'm like Bucks this, Bucks that when I'm good or when I'm bad. Have you ever heard me do that? So you have to keep it real on that end too. When my team is good, they're good. When my team is bad, they're bad. I'm never going to sugarcoat shit just because a team is my own. I'm always going to, do it based off the league as a whole. And let's be honest, like who's going to end up watching more games of other teams? Like it's one thing to watch your team, but if you're watching all 32 teams, who's going to have a little bit more of a gauge on the league as a whole? Like I said, not saying that if you only watch your team, that you're only going to know that and that's it, but you have to be able to watch the league as a whole to get a good ground on where each team kind of stacks up in the pecking order. That's what I'm saying. Okay, but if the Bucks end up beating the Lions and I win by 30, I'm not going to say that they're better than the Lions overall, and then I'm the third best team. So if that was the case, then where do you go from there? Yeah, but the only okay, but the only way though, the only way that you're going to actually get an answer that you guys are going to be satisfied with is if you ask people that aren't Seahawk fans or that aren't Lion fans, and they'll let you know who they think that is the better team. You know, right? I mean, that's the only way that you're going to be able to get the justification that you want, right? That if it's not a Seahawk fan and they're not a Lions fan and there's no attachment, and you're asking people that are fans of other teams, then you can kind of get a gauge on what other fans are thinking. And I can't speak for every other fan that's not a Lion fan or a Seahawks fan, but I just do it based on what I feel, which may be right or may not be right, but that's how I feel. So get him. First down, Packers. Flecked with a fiver. Bang, 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 boom, boom, boom. Bang, bang. $5 holla. Bang. I don't look at the thing in the heads up, straight up. I don't look at that. I look at the product that they put on the field every single week, top to bottom. I mean, ask Sarah, ask Elliot, ask Odin who they think is better between the Lions, and the Hawks, and see what they say. You know what I mean? They have no affiliation to Seattle or fucking Detroit. They could give two fucks about those teams, right? You know what I'm saying? So it's like I do it based on the eye test and watching each game from beginning to end. You know, Oh yeah, I need to check it out. Do you have any? If you have any links or anything else with the Kraken, send them to me. 'Cause I definitely want to be able to see how we're stacking up. And then Gru is going to be obviously goalie in that first game, correct? Little check down. Kraken news. Nice. I gotta check it out. Can you send it to me on Instagram? I mean, I feel I've not, like I can still have favorites, right? But if I felt that the Lions, weren't as good, I don't have a problem saying Seattle's better or the Bucks are better or some other team is better. I mean, when have I ever been like, oh, Buccaneers this, Buccaneers that, Ducks this, Ducks that? I've always given proper love to Michael Penix Jr., Caleb Williams. I've never been this guy that's like Ducks or everyone else, fuck you. I've never been that way. I've never been Bucks, everything, everyone else, fuck you. I've never said that. So, you may not agree with what I'm saying, you know what I mean? But that I feel that the perception, from the outside fans, other than Detroit or Seattle, that I would say 90% are going to say Detroit over Seattle, and hell, they might end up saying even Tampa, over Seattle at some point. And I'm not even saying that right now, but if we end up beating Detroit by, 10, 14, 17 at home, definitely a Buccaneer 4-1 team, people, even though they don't want to give Baker credit or Tampa credit, you can't really deny 4-1, unless they're just playing all dog shit teams. like the Cowboys did with the Jets, the Patriots, and the Giants, then you know they're pretenders. So Crosby, baby. All right, here we go. Now I got the link. All right, I got to look this up. And then let me know what you guys want to do for photos, and I got you. Ooh. Decord and Cartier earn spots. Ooh. 13 forward, 7 defensemen, and 2 goalies. I can't wait. It's going to be fun. Ty, that doesn't surprise me at all. Brandon Tanev, nice. Taylor Yamamoto. Both scored goals in the preseason. With, okay. Burakovsky, Tolvanen, Bjorkstrand, nice. I love seeing the names, man. It's been a minute. Stands at 22, one under the maximum. One player under the limit as strategy. Okay. 18 skaters, 12 forwards, 6 defensemen, 2 goalies in uniform. Oh, man, I'm excited. This could be a special year for the Kraken. Maddie, Jordan, Brandon, Jaden, Jared, Tolvanen, Alex, Bjorkstrand, Yanni, Ty, Yamamoto, nice. Schultz. I like the roster. And then we got Grew. What about the backup goalie behind Grew? How is he going to do? I don't know a whole lot about him. I'll learn as the season goes, or you guys will teach me. Ah, okay. Come on, Raiders. There we go. Almost to the first down. Yamamoto, yeah. Undertaker Gong at the end of the NXT promo. Yeah, a lot of the people obviously were on last year's roster, so I mean it's not too much of a surprise. A couple new names in there and whatnot. So I'm excited. Toby in the building. What's good? Yeah, I need to take a look at that too. Well, we got to have someone to fill in for Grew when he gets, destroyed every once in a while when we play like a good team. Then we need to have someone come in and at least hold it down, right? So, and I don't assume that Grew is going to get destroyed that often, but we know in hockey sometimes it happens. And then I got to look at, and then we got, and Odin sent me his as well. First down and 10, 3-0 Packers. I told y'all it'd be a lot lower scoring than people thought. The Packer fans thought they were going to win this by like 20 points. Oh, that was going to be a trick play. Little trickery. All right, let me look at your roster. I'm not really familiar with the Devil roster, but I might end up doing a game or two for you, Odin, at some point or another, and you can teach me along the way. But I do know Jack Hughes. I remember him from last year because I ended up, doing some photos of him for you. So I remember that name. That name I'm familiar with. Nice. I'll have to look at that more thoroughly too. The Coachella. Yeah, back to the lower division and whatnot. Come on, Jimmy. 12 noon. You know what time it is? Time for sack lunch. Yum, 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 yum. Like, Jimmy, you can't run. You got to get rid of the ball. Get the ball. Davante Adams. Hello. Come on, Raiders. I need to win in fantasy by a miracle. But it's not going to happen. Love is at 4. Jacobs is at 0.8. Green Bay D's at 12. I need that Green Bay defense to go down to like a 3. Yeah, but also Kraken is, that'll be a team that I root for too myself. So I'll try to do as many Kraken games as I can, and we'll just see what kind of turnout that we end up getting and going there too. So, but I mean, if I can sprinkle in a little bit of football, a little bit of playoff baseball, a little Kraken, and then a little NBA, that'll be good. And then some college football, Ducks and fucking UW, coming up. And I would assume the Ducks are going to lose against Michael Penix Jr. But if we do, I'm not going to be heartbroken. I like rooting for your guys' teams with Caleb and Michael Penix Jr. Like, genuinely, I mean, it's good for the Pac-12. It's our last year, and someone's going to come out on top, and it's going to either be USC, Oregon, or Washington. So, and I like all 3 quarterbacks. Hell, I think I like the other 2 quarterbacks a little bit better than my own. Oh, Vegas with the challenge. Yeah, it's that time off. I think that's why. The Phillies are the hottest team besides the Rangers. And when you're hot and you're healthy, it doesn't matter if you're the best team in baseball. This will be the 3rd straight year in a row that the number 1 record has gone down in the playoffs. So December 7th and February 12th for the 2 Devils crack. Oh, I'm doing those for sure. We'll have a good time in here. We're going to do those. And I got the scoreboard situated so I can either use it from ESPN or NHL.com, whichever one looks better. I don't know how often you guys go to NHL.com or ESPN when you're looking at your scores, but I'll look at the format because I usually use NFL.com for NFL games. Baseball and college football, I use ESPN's. But if NHL.com's got a cool looking one, then I'll use that, or I'll do ESPN. But yeah, I'm definitely invested. Like I did the Mariners. I did over 100 streams. I'm going to try to do a lot of the Kraken. First down, Raiders. Yeah, and anything that you guys can teach me, on that level, to get me more knowledge, I'm all about that life. I like learning from y'all. I'm not going to know everything. Braves 5, Phillies 4. Damn, they came back. Wow. Well, I don't know if Shep and the rest of the crew are even happy. They'll already lose that first game and the way that they lost. I mean, that's not a good sign for the confidence. No. Because like I said, if it's a playoff baseball game that I don't really give a shit about, the Mariners are not playing. It's like when we get further along, I'm going to do some stuff. But I already had in mind that I enjoyed doing the Kraken games. And now I have the scoreboard that I can implement that also. So it'll look. Now I'll have to try to find some hockey cards on the side. So hopefully I can find some old school hockey cards like I do for the football and the baseball. So that might be a little challenging. But if I can find some 60s, 70s, or 80s hockey cards on the side. That'll be my project probably for tonight or tomorrow morning. And if you're Northwest sports fanatics, you got to cover the Northwest stuff. I mean, the only team I don't cover is Tampa, but I still cover Seahawks and Kraken and Blazers and Mariners. So it would make sense to be, and I do enjoy it. Like, what am I going to get more enjoyment of, watching the Kraken or watching the Rangers and the O's? I think I would enjoy both, but I think I get a little bit more joy, with the Kraken. Somebody needs a girlfriend. Someone needs a girlfriend. Bye bye. You already know when that starts popping off. And again, once we get to commercial break, for all the people that donated, let me know what you want to do for pictures, and I got you. 3rd down and 5. Come on, Raiders. There we go. Jacoby Myers, underrated. Oh, the bots, they're back, baby. We haven't had one of those in a minute. It's usually like the ones like, watch my NFL link or whatever. Elliot, remember when we said this was a trap game and the Raiders could win? I don't know, man. Sports gods, I think they like what we said. I think they like what we said because it's not like Green Bay's up 17-0 right now. They're like they're like the flow of the game favors Vegas. And it felt like a trap game at the beginning, but I think a lot of people were afraid to say it. Like I said it, you said it. We kind of felt like maybe this could be Raiders. And it's not over yet. It's 3-0, but and it's not like the Green Bay Packers are 4-0. They're 2-2. Raiders are 1-3. Even though the Raiders, when you watch them, sometimes it looks like an 0-4 team. But maybe Jacoby Myers and Davante Adams can make enough plays with Max Crosby to get it done. I mean, hell, it's almost halftime and it's only 3-0. You can't be happy if you're a Packer fan seeing this. Like the Dallas Cowboys are ass, booty cheeks, but 3-0 against the Raiders. Ooh. Devils and Kraken. Very cool. Oh, for the betting. I got it, Odin. Let me see here. So for whatever reason, I can't see it. It's just like black. I don't know why. Maybe I have to look it up. Come on, Raiders! Short gain. Second down and 2. Third down, Jacoby Myers, Davante Adams. One-on-one, Packers don't have an answer. An old promo pick, yeah. Maybe I'll look on Instagram here on the desktop. For whatever reason on my phone, it was blacked out for whatever reason, but it'll probably pop up here on Instagram on let me see. Oh, there it is. Oh, wow. That is so cool. Holy shit, I have to share this. All right, wait. Well, let's wait for this Raiders touchdown first. Come on, Raiders! Third down and 1. Oh, Jacoby! Cut it in! Oh, damn it! Good defense by the Packers. Now, if they were ballsy enough, they could do tush push, but their O-line's not good enough. Come on, Jacoby. I mean, you do have Josh Jacobs, right? You could do tush push. I mean, hell, if you can't get 1 fucking yard, right? And why are they doing shotgun set on 4th down and 1? Get under center. There you go. You're going to try to draw them off sides? No. Jet sweep. Yeah, baby. First down, Raiders. Jet sweep works every time. Move the chains, baby. Packers going down. Let's go. Let's go. Packers, boo. I love the photo. Golly, he's young. All right, come on, baby. Davante Adams, Jacoby Myers, baby. Handoff. There we go, Jacobs. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. I got to take the banner down. Oh, baby, baby, baby. Baby, baby, baby. Is that a program or is it a program or is it a hockey card? Either way, it's dope. Love it. That's very cool. That's actually one of the coolest hack things I've seen in a minute. Very cool. Very, very cool. Touchdown! Yeah! Here we go, Elliot. You got to talk it into existence. Jacoby Myers, right? You got to talk it into existence. Davante Adams. They got 2 guys that are unguardable. Trap game. O-Dog doesn't want the Packers to win. Boo, Packer fans. Sorry, not today, baby. Let's go. Let's go. It's a card. Let's go, Elliot. This is like their you have to take it. It's like their playoff game, at home to save their season. More on the line for the Raiders than the Packers. Sports gods, a guy is like, I can't believe it. They're actually doing something, and they might win. I'm telling you, you can never underestimate the power of faith and what's in the universe. And when you talk shit into existence, and if the sports gods love you, if they don't love you, then you're fucked, right? But if the sports gods love you, you talk it into existence, and shit happens. And here we go, 7-3 Raiders. And will I be rooting for the Raiders every week? No, but against the Packers, yeah. Let's go. Let me know anything else that you guys want to do. I know. I'm not gonna end up winning unless the Packers defense goes down to like a 3 or a 0. I need the Raiders to keep piling it on. I'm up by 4 points, so it's like I need Jordan Love to be somewhere between 4 and 8 points. Jacobs between 4 and 8 points, and then I need the Green Bay defense to go down from 8 to like a 3. And if that happens, then I might be able to skate by with a .14 win. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but it would be one of the most miraculous wins in fantasy football history that they got Jordan Love, Josh Jacobs, and Green Bay D, and I ended up winning. You never know. I've seen crazier shit in fantasy. Playing card. Oh, it's very cool. I don't expect to win, but I mean, sports gods, they might. You never know. Especially if Green Bay only puts up 3 points and the Raiders put up 20 or more. Like if you end up getting like the crazy scenario where it ends up being like 27-3, something like that, like the most outrageous score. So far, so good though. But I don't assume that we're going to win. Yeah, I don't have any confidence, and you shouldn't have any confidence moving forward. But for this game specifically, if I'm rooting for you, good things are going to happen, and they already have. 7-3. I mean, did you really think the game would be this close? Be honest. Did you really think that the Raiders would be ahead at this point in the game and that Green Bay only has 3? Most people would have said no. They would assume that Green Bay would be ahead 13-3, 17-3, 14-0, 10-0, 7-0. So far, so good. It's not over yet, but I'm just trying to give you some good juju. I'm trying to give you that good magic, okay? Yeah, I saw him on there, that he did well, but I just can't I can't trust Denver players, you know what I mean? But it would have been a smart move if I would have grabbed him, but I don't know if I would have had the balls to start him. I'm about consistency, and it's hard for me to pick up a guy that's been garbage for like 3 weeks that was on the bench, and then all of a sudden he hit like for a week, and then I have to bank everything on him hitting for 2 weeks in a row, and I don't know if I trust him or not. So 152.5 to 152.56. TJ Watt sack with 20 seconds left. Damn, that's tough. Trap game. 111 to 109. God damn. I mean, I don't deserve to win, especially when I only got 5.8 from Jay Jetta, from Buffalo D, and Marwood too. I mean, I don't deserve to win. I just don't. I have to take an L. No one goes undefeated in fantasy. So hopefully I can beat Chief Chief next week. But if he beats me, then someone's got to beat him. It's either got to be me or you, Reflect, that beats Chief Chief. Because if it's not you or me, I don't know who's going to beat him unless someone else has a monster lineup one week, or the lineup where he has all his good players have a bye, which I think is when he plays me. Oh, intercepted! Raiders! Orion believes in you, and then you get results, baby! Do you believe in O-Dog yet? Do you believe in O-Dog and the spirit of O-Doggy Dog and the NWSF? Did you really think that this was going to happen for the Raiders? Or did we talk this shit into existence? You just got to believe. Elliot says it. I say it. We talk about it. This is what I want. Sports gods, are like, okay, O-Dog, he wants the Raiders to win. We're going to have an amazing performance, the best performance of the year tonight against the Packers. The O-Dog don't like the Packers, so we're going to have the Raiders win. We're going to have an amazing game. Jordan Love is not going to have a good game. Raiders. O-Dog needs to win in fantasy. Raiders. Let's go. First and goal. Let's go. And I can't have Jacobs score because that's part of it because he's got Jacobs, Jordan Love, and Green Bay deep. So you can hand it off, to a little bit of Josh Jacobs, but I need the touchdowns to go to the wide receivers and Jacoby Myers and Devontae Adams. So as long as that happens, we're going to be Gucci. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, but everyone on the panel and a majority of America, it's like 95% Packers. Who's that 5%? You boy. Packer D. I don't know, but he's not doing very good so far. Watch. I mean, like I said, I've had crazier shit happen. He only needed to get 19 points to beat, like 20 points to beat me out of Jordan Love, Josh Jacobs, and Green Bay D. And going against the Raiders, you're like, that's a done deal. But there is a chance that I end up winning this week. It's a small chance, but you never know. Snoop Doggy Dog, talking to into existence, baby. Let's go. Third and goal. Jacoby Myers, Devontae Adams. Play action fake. Tipped. Damn. Now they have to go with a field goal. Hey, I'm telling y'all, I mean, I've had shitty, crazy, amazing things. There's just no way that it would happen, and then it happens. Now they got to go for the field goal. Field goal attempt is up, and it's good, baby. Let's go. Raiders. All right, let me get your goaltender here. I can't believe the hockey season's like tomorrow. Like it's here. Nice job, Raiders. Plus, I think that the sports gods, they already know how much pain you've been going through. And you already know that the team is dog shit. But if you at least can win on prime time, and have like a little bit of joy for one night, knowing that it's probably not going to mean anything moving forward, you know. But hey, Devontae, look for him in the second half, baby. Let's go. All you got to do is believe in Oh Doggy Dog. Believe. And in the NFL, anything can happen. You know what I mean? So just because on paper it looks like one team is so much better, you got to go out there and you got to execute. Bottom line, you know. And here's just another rando photo I found here as well. Let's go, baby. And eventually I'll get some, try to find some spinning logos for the hockey teams, but they don't have it as many. I'm not sure. I can get whatever you want for your favorites as well. So, I mean, I got to be able to hold. I got to hold I got to hold Joe Seahawks stock to under 20 points with three spots. And Love, Green Bay D, and Jacobs, that's not good. But so far, so good. Oh, that's cool. And I'll get you some hack here as well. Cool upper deck card. Speaking of cards. And Preston mailed out the Carmella auto, and he's got a lot of autos, and he's a big card collector and memorabilia collector like me. So, for people like Odin and Megan that didn't win, there'll probably be an opportunity to win something at some point too. So, oh baby, very cool. Raiders, they're feeding off that Uncle Mo, baby. Who crosses back? Nice. Uchenna, good choice. Max Crosby is one of the best in the world, baby. Well, he comes to play every night. That's exactly what you want. He would have fit in great with the teams in the 80s and 90s and early 2000s. Like, he's probably my favorite player the Raiders have had in a long time. I'm trying to remember if there's any other player that I've loved more than Crosby, and I don't think there is. And he plays defense too, so you already know what I think about defensive players, baby. A little Uchenna for your life. Yeah, but for whatever reason, there's like hockey logos or transparent logos, but there's not as many spinning ones for whatever reason. I'll have to dig deeper. Good choice. Uchenna. So when are all the throwback games? So your guys' is coming up. Tampa's playing the Lions, and we're wearing the creamsicles. When are the Eagles wearing the Kelly Greens? And when are the Titans wearing the Oilers uniforms? Does anyone have that information? 3-0 Diamondbacks. I'm telling y'all, I mean, the Dodgers are pretenders, and that's my dad's team. And I got to keep it real. And even my dad probably wouldn't want to hear it, but they're not good this year. I've watched, I don't know how many games, 60 plus games, and a lot of live look-ins. The bottom end of their lineup isn't good. The pitching staff isn't very good. They got a lot of injuries. They're a pretender. They're not good enough. Like, the Braves should be able to advance, but they're just running into the hottest team in the Phillies. But what is the Dodgers' excuse? Losing to the Diamondbacks. But also the Diamondbacks were in first place, in that division earlier in the year. So it's not like this is a complete surprise. Corbin Carroll is more clutch than Julio Rodriguez. And I'm a Mariner fan saying that. So big facts. Uchenna. And then we'll get some see if I can get some hack up here from Megan. Oh, Vegas Golden Knights are promoting it. Yeah. Captain Jack Eichel. That'll be a big win for the Kraken if we can beat the Vegas. And I'll put up some more here in a second. Hit him! Hit him! What happened to my hands? Raiders are playing inspired football. It's a one-man wrecking crew. Crosby, a little Crosby. Yes, he does. One of the best motors in the National Football League. I mean, I put his motor on the same level as like a TJ Watt, and there's not very many guys, or a Nick Bosa. I mean, motor, 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 motor. Get him! Wrap him up! Raiders playing some inspired ball today. Ooh, another one, new one. Like the transparent is cool, but the spinning is the best. Ooh, I can't wait for tomorrow. Kraken. It's not like they're playing a shitty team either. I would still do it, even if they played like a shitty team. But just the fact that they're going to play a team that, that we, I mean, is the game at home or is it on the road? Are we in Vegas or is it in Seattle? Oh, big hit. Everyone's like, oh, Jordan Love is so good. 2023, the Titans will wear the same Oilers in 1988. And does it say when? Versus Atlanta and Houston. Oh, they're going to wear it for 2 games? Throwback home games against Houston and Atlanta. Wow. Does it say what week? October 29th. Okay, so in like 3 weeks, and then December 17th. Ah, that's cool that they're wearing them twice. Very cool. Playing the Texans and the Oiler unis, yes. We're in Vegas. It's a road game. So what are they predicting that we're going to lose by how many? I assume that the Seattle will be an underdog. So if we can win that, that'll be a great way to start off the season. But hopefully that we get the dub, and if we end up losing, hopefully it's not by much. Like it's like a 5-4 kind of game or something like that. But yeah, I can't wait. The all whites. And the too bad the Broncos, played so shitty when they had that ice cap, white helmet, which was pretty cool. But again, just because you wear the throwback or an alternate helmet doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get the best performance out of the team. So nice crisp photo of Hack there. He's like, oh, you're kind of good. Yeah, I am. I'm good. Kraken. Release the Kraken. 23 doll hairs. I mean, the sports gods are going to love me through and through if I end up winning. It's 111 to 108. So it's not, they're still projected for 125. But again, if something happens to Jordan Love, or if Josh Jacobs doesn't get the looks, or the Green Bay defense, it starts going down lower and lower and lower in points, and the Raiders, because they're going to end up going to Devontae in the second half. So I just got to hope for like a 27-3 type of score, or 27-6 or something. never know. Maybe a punt return or a kick return for a touchdown or a pick six on Jordan Love. You see how I'm like talking it into existence here? Come on, Raiders. Second down and 10, no turnovers. Shitty throw. But the offensive line is not very good either. So Hunter Renfrow, almost irrelevant. And I busted out 5 reaction videos as well, trying to get those pushed out. Hopefully, some will end up hitting an algorithm at some point. In 2009. Third down and 10. Give the ball to Davante Adams, Jimmy, you dummy, or Jakobi Meyers. Get rid of it. Jacoby. Move the chains. I don't think anyone wants Renfrow, though. He's not the same player as he was when Carr was there. Like, what is it? What are they going to get in return? A 7th rounder? At that point, you might as well just keep him. You ain't going to get shit for him. No one wants him. It's like irrelevant. Jakobi Meyers is a much better receiver than Hunter Renfrow. Like, Meyers is a guy that can put up the same stats as Davante Adams, like through and through. If you give him the opportunities, you know, he's very, very good. He was good on New England, and obviously, if you give him the opportunities, you know, he'll steal some opportunities from Davante Adams, which Davante probably doesn't like. But you know, if you're talking about guys that actually can make plays, Jakobi Meyers is that guy. If you've ever seen him in fantasy, he's always a sleeper every year. No, they won't cut Renfrow. He's not that bad. Jakobi Myers. That's what I'm talking about. Raiders. And a little bit more Raiders. Come on, baby. I got to win in fantasy this week. Let's go. This will be my best win all year if I get this dub. Yeah, I don't like the way that Jimmy throws. Doesn't have any zip on that ball. It's like it's up to the receiver to come back to it and like snatch it. It's like he lofts way too many footballs. No, not for. I mean, you know, for draft capital, they're not going to be able to cut him or trade him because no one's going to want him. Shotgun set. There we go, Hunter. Let's go. Let's get another field goal here. There we go. Raiders. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What are you watching? You watching Monday Night Raw? Third down and 3. Jakobi Meyers or Davante Adams, baby. And then you can get a field goal with Carlson, and then you can be up 13-3. And then you can hear all the Packer fans cry, bitch, moan, whine, saying that the NFL cheated, Roger Goodell, this and that, moaning, bitching, whining, complaining. Jakobi. That could be a new Kanye song. Jakobi here, Jakobi here, Jakobi here, Jakobi there, Jakobi everywhere. Drew versus JD. It's Drew McIntyre versus Jermaine Dupri. Floater. Throwing it to who knows who. Because we knew this was a trap game, Elliot. We had to give a guy a little bit of love. You know, he's been miserable being a Raider fan forever. for like 20, 30 years. We got to give him at least one day, that he can feel good actually beating a team that isn't like Super Bowl caliber, but could be a playoff team. They might make the playoffs with 10 wins. They might miss it by winning 7, 8, or 9 wins. But either way, beating the Packers is going to feel good. 53-yard attempt by Daniel Carlson. And I drafted him in fantasy, and I dropped him because it wasn't the same type of team without Carr there. Now, if Carr was still there, I would have kept Carlson, but I need production and results. I just can't hang on to a guy hoping that he's going to put up points eventually. And I got Maher and Moody, so I'm good there, even though they fucked me this week. Love has got 2 points so far. Jacobs has got 4. Green Bay D's got 9. I need that 9 to go down to about a 3. Jacobs can go up to a 6, and then Love can get up to a 6 as well. Let's go Raiders. Let's go sports gods. You love your boy over and over and over. You keep loving your boy. And let's love your boy one more time. Jacoby Carlson. No good. Fuck. Wow. Daniel Carlson, no good. Burr, burr, burr. Still 10-3, though. Come on, Carlson. You were literally one of the best kickers for 3 years. In that first year, pretty good. Last 2 years, you were the best. And then this year, with no Carr, you're not good anymore. And sometimes you got to be able to learn that. I drafted him anticipating he was going to be the same player, and be accurate. But he's not accurate, and you don't have the same quarterback or offense. So if that's the case, then he's not worth having on the roster. You picked him up because you thought I dropped something that was valuable. You're like, oh, O-Dog dropped Carlson. Let me scoop him up. But you're not getting the same results. And if I thought Carlson was good, do you think I would have dropped him? Hell no. Some players I drop that are good because I need to make room for other positions. Other guys I drop because they're not good. Get his ass. Jordan Love with the garbage stats at the end of the half. Now I'm up 111 to 109. Not likely I win unless some crazy shit happens. 10-3 Raiders. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Raiders. And then what excuses or complaining are you getting from Packer fans? All of the above. All right, let me know what you guys want to do about photos. And like I said, if I can end up getting the defense to go from a 9 down to like a 3, that's really where it's going to help me out considerably. Just can't have too much more out of Jacobs. Like I need, 8 out of Love, 8 out of Jacobs or under. I need to get that defense from a 9 to a 3. That's what I said at the beginning of the show, and I'm sticking to my guns, baby. It's almost crazy that I'm actually still ahead at this point, and it's halftime. But sometimes the sports gods, they want to be able to give O-Dog the win. You want some Kraken? Good choice. Too Short and Warren G. Well, fucking go to that. Damn it. Too Short and Warren G performing. Golly. Because Jordan Love sucks. Overrated. Not good. Devontae will get the ball in the second half. There's a very high probability that you're going to get a touchdown either by Jakobi Meyers again for number 2, or Devontae will get one in the second half. But Devontae's always going to be covered by the best corner, and Jakobi Meyers is more like in his vision. So it's easier for him to go to Jakobi Meyers in the slot or wherever he's lined up. And Jakobi's underrated. Period. Nothing. Jordan Love, 7 for 12, 56 yards and a pick. Nice job. Jacoby. That's Joe Buck's wife. Damn, I feel sorry for her. She's got to listen to Joe Buck. Golly, that's tough. Jacoby. Hi, Paisley. Let me take a look at the games that are tomorrow for the NHL. All right, so we got Predators and Lightning, Blackhawks and Penguins, and then we got Kraken and Golden Knights. And then the Blackhawks have Connor, right? So they got the first pick in the draft, so people are going to be watching that, and then you're going to get Sidney Crosby. That is going to be kind of exciting. Every matchup looks good, but that Blackhawks Penguins will be kind of exciting. You got the first pick in the draft going against fucking Sidney Crosby. Oh, wee. Ooh, wee. I'm excited. I'm gonna have to get myself like a Kraken beanie or something, because obviously I can't afford to buy anything for myself. With all the things that I have to pay back and whatnot. But hopefully, at some point, I'll have, when I get things paid off and get cell phone and Ziply internet bill and all this other shit that I got to take care of and all the other shit that I got to pay off. Eventually, I can end up getting something like a Kraken beanie or something like that. So at least I can represent that way. Oh, Captain Jack, you're about to get a rude awakening from the Kraken tomorrow. Connor Bedard. Crosby. Jacoby. Sometimes you just need to know who those sleeper players are, and you understand that just because he's not Devontae Adams doesn't mean he can't put up Devontae Adams numbers and production in real life and in fantasy. Jacoby. Keep the ball out of Josh Jacobs' hands. Make sure Jordan Love has the ball in his hands and he keeps fucking up. And let's get that defensive number for the Packers lower and lower in fantasy. And those Raider points get higher and higher, baby. He's a goofy. He's like, I'm a fan of the Patriots because I'm a bandwagon and now they suck. So now I need to find a new team. Mark Davis looks like someone that Jim Carrey would impersonate with his haircut. And it shows you if you have a terrible owner with like Davis or Jerry Jones, or you end up having a situation with the Redskins and they finally got out of that. But if you don't have a good owner, Dan Snyder, Jerry Jones, Davis, then I mean, what are you going to get from this? You know, got to move on. I know you're loving making money, but the fans want dubs. You know, Come on, Mark. And the sad thing is if Mark or Jerry Jones, if something happens to them and they end up, passing away or something happens, then their sons or family members are going to keep it moving. They're not going to sell. They're going to continue making the bad decisions over and over, where it's never going to end, unless you're like Dan Snyder and they like force you to sell and get the hell out of there. Inotech. Oh, they remember how to play football, but they know the sports gods were like, okay, O-Dog needs to win in fantasy. That's what matters in life. Nothing else matters. No Green Bay fans, none of the Green Bay Packer YouTubers, none of that shit fucking matters. All right, I need to be able to win in fantasy. That's what fucking matters. Green Bay defense needs to do shitty. Jordan Love needs to do shitty. And then the Raiders, Josh Jacobs, needs to not do too much. And as long as I get those three things, that's what matters. And so far, so good. Jacoby. Well, I would hope that you could end up being the New England Patriots. They're dog shit. So obviously we slapped you in the mouth with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but then you guys are back, obviously, and it's going to be a two-team race between probably the Saints and the Bucs, but the Falcons will be right behind. So we'll see on how it goes. If Tampa wins the division, Saints will be right there, and then you should still have a better record than Atlanta, and then Carolina will be last. So, but being last this year would actually be a good thing with so many good players in the draft. It's like if you were going to be a bad team this year, this is the year to be bad. So that's why I'm a little pissed that we're 3-1 and it looks like we're going to win the division unless we end up having some injuries, but we'll see where it goes. Jacoby. Get him the ball, baby. Let's go, baby. And I don't wish, for anybody to get injured. You know what I'm saying? But when it comes down to fantasy, a little minor ankle sprain, tweak, a little hammy, like when I had to have Jay Jetta go out and I only got 5 points out of him. That's bullshit. After I had fucking Keenan Allen, Mike Evans, and Amon-Ra out, 4 of my best players, so, maybe, the sports gods were like, you got kind of fucked in this week. So we're going to try our best to see if we can get you that dub. Connor Bedard. I did not watch the whole game, but I do plan on doing some reaction videos to some of the college games probably on like Wednesday. But it shows you the defense is not there. Like the Ducks defense is better than advertised. The USC defense is worse than advertised. UW and Oregon State's defense are pretty solid. And that's just I thought USC and Oregon's defense would be terrible this season and their offense would be great and they would carry them. But again, you don't want to end up going to overtime or double overtime or triple overtime against a team like an Arizona or an Arizona State. So it's going to be one of those things that I don't know if USC is going to win the Pac-12 anymore. At the beginning of the year, I was like, yeah. But if I had to, I think it could be Oregon or Washington that wins the Pac-12. I mean, we have to play each other, obviously, coming up here in November, and you're going to come to Austin. And if we beat you, then we'll see where it goes. But we might end up losing to UW. College game day is going to be there this weekend. So maybe we go up to UW and lose, and then USC comes to Oregon and we win, and it'll be kind of like a 3-team tie with like 1 loss or maybe 2 losses. We'll see. We will see. But I was hoping that USC's defense would be better and Oregon's defense would be better. But so far, Oregon's defense is surprised, and then USC's fans are a little disappointed that the offense is so magical, but the defense isn't handling their responsibilities, which is a little shocking, but not really. Because I think personnel, we already know they have way more weapons on offense and defense but you don't assume that you're going to go to overtime or double overtime or triple overtime with Arizona or Arizona State. Now, if it happened with Oregon, USC triple overtime, or UW and USC triple overtime, then you're like, okay, I can see that. But sometimes, college football will surprise you, and you never know what's going to happen until the games, get played. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see. We'll see on how it works. But what I do hope is I hope USC stays undefeated, and I hope that we can beat UW, even though we're probably going to lose this weekend. But I hope we win. But I hope that USC and Oregon are both undefeated when we play each other in November, because I'll probably be in Austin and I'll probably be at the game. So, Inotech, he said LSU defense booty. All right, baby, here we go. Coming back from halftime, all of the crybaby Packer fans are making excuses now. And hopefully Max Crosby goes off. We get a pick six, a fumble for a touchdown, a punt return, kick return for a touchdown. Max Crosby with a couple more sack lunches. And then we can get Jacoby, and Davante Adams in the end zone, baby, with a field goal. Final score, Raiders 27, Packers 3 or 6. Let's go. Let's go. Yeah, I know it probably gave you a heart attack too. Because when I was looking at it, I was like, uh-oh. I saw the overtime, and then I saw the double overtime, and I was like, oh, God, you got to find a way, But when you got Caleb, you always have a chance, no matter how bad the D is playing. Imperium beating out Gargano and Ciampa. The right play is Davante Adams and Jacoby. Yeah, because Max Crosby is one of the best defensive players on planet Earth. Play action fake. There we go. There we go. And you want to keep the ball out of the Packers fans. Long, long drives that bleed the clock. If you can get a couple 5 or 6 minute drives, that'll be very, very good for the Raiders. Oh, I bet. Every USC fan was like, if we're going to lose to Oregon or Washington, or like a team that's good, not one of the bottom 6 teams in the Pac-12. You're going to lose to one of the top 6 teams, not the bottom. Shotgun set. Jimmy. Jacoby. Your boy knows. Let's go, baby. And Jacoby could end up getting 2 or 3 touchdowns as well. He's got 1. I don't know how many touchdowns we're going to end up getting, but soft part of that zone. And Davante's always going to be double covered. That's why they're not able to go. Because Jimmy, if he forces it to Davante, it's going to get picked and possibly pick 6. And I think he knows that. So that's why, Jacoby will be like that second option. But the thing is, they need to treat Jacoby Myers as a Davante Adams, 2.0, because that's what he is. And sometimes he'll even play better. Damn, now I'm only up by 0.10. I need some crazy shit to happen. I'm not going to win. We've got to get that Green Bay defense down to like a 3. Come on now. Come on, Raiders. Play action fake. Intercepted. God damn it, Jimmy. Jimmy being Jimmy. Terrible. Golly, Jimmy this, Jimmy that. God damn it. Now I'm down by 2. Mother sucker. 13 points from the Green Bay D. Come on. 77 to go. There is an eye in Jimmy. You are correct. I for INT. Yes. Yes, you're very true. Decision making is terrible. You know, he's just not a good decision maker. He might be handsome, but handsome doesn't win you games. That's why Brock Purdy is so valuable. They had to move on, you know. And like I said, the only way that the Niners bring in Kirk Cousins is Brock Purdy gets hurt. If Brock Purdy doesn't get hurt, Kirk's not coming. You know what I mean? There's no point because Purdy's a better player. Period. It's very cool to be able to see this Brock Purdy kind of like turn into Tom Brady. And I'm not saying that he's going to be Tom Brady, but it's being drafted late. And there is a possibility that in the next, 5 to 8 years, the Niners win a couple. You know, it is possible that they could win a Super Bowl. I think Shanahan will win at least one if they go to 2 Super Bowls. Eagles are going to win at least one in the next 8 years as well. It'll just be kind of interesting to see if we're going to get a dynasty out of one of the teams. Will it be the Eagles? Will it be the Niners, or it will be a combination of both of those teams? Possibly beating out, maybe the AFC, depending on what they look like. God damn it, Jimmy. I could have just got Justin Jefferson not to go out with that hammy. I think I would have won this week. That one hurt. And the kicker and the defense, that shit hurts. I hate getting fucking under 10 points combined for kicker and defense. There's nothing worse. There's nothing else that makes me want to throw up in my mouth even more when I see some bullshit like that. And I couldn't do anything about it because all the other guys I had on my bench I couldn't get rid of and make a swap because they're too valuable. That's the worst when my hands are tied behind my back and I just have to just be like, well, it is what it is. And every year I lose whenever I have that happen. It just sucks. Just knowing that the loss is happening. Green Bay D and Myers. I'm going against Jordan Love, Josh Jacobs, and Green Bay defense, and I was up by 19.54. So I was thinking in my head, okay, 8 points for Jordan Love, bad game. 8 points for Josh Jacobs, bad game, or average, below average game, and then 3 points for Green Bay D, and then the Raiders would have to win with Devontae and Jacoby Myers. It's 10-3, but so I'm getting part of the formula, but I need the Raiders to score to bring the defense down, and I can't have them getting sack lunches and picks. So Notre Dame, USC. Well, USC's defense obviously isn't the greatest. A lot of the Pac-12 teams' defenses aren't very good. Offenses are spectacular in the Pac-12, but it could be a pretty close game. I mean, even though you lost this past weekend, so yeah, I tried getting you to get Laporta, but you said nah, 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 and then I cashed in. But I ended up getting Moody. I got Maher. I ended up getting but also too, I had multiple defenses prior to just having Buffalo. I had other spots where I've had three defenses, but when you end up having all your favorite pieces that have a bye week in the same week, sometimes you're fucked. There's just nothing there. Unless I wanted to go for Fairburn with the Texans kicker if I would have took a chance on that, but then I would have had to drop Moody or Maher, and I didn't know if I wanted to do that or not. It's a tough decision in fantasy. But I like having backups in every position because of injuries. I'm always going to have a backup quarterback, a backup, tight end, a backup, kicker, backup defenses. I typically like having three defenses, honestly. Two kickers, three defenses, two tight ends, and then if I can go with one quarterback as long as I possibly can. But then when Mahomes started getting kind of struggling a little bit, I had Purdy, dropped him, and then I got C.J. Stroud. But I went for 3 or 4 weeks with just Mahomes, and that was risky. But sometimes you got to take risks in fantasy. I always like to have one backup to whatever's there because you never know. If I would have just had Mahomes and then something would have happened, then I'm going to be stuck with fucking guys like Daniel Jones and I'm fucked. So sometimes you have to have a contingency plan, an insurance plan. You got to have some insurance just in case, something happens. And also for depth because I like to have options. So Drew is going heel. Awesome. He makes a good heel. First down and 10. Come on, Raiders. Strip it. First down, Packers. Imagine spending $1,000 for Packer tickets and they put up 3 at halftime. But they're about to score here to tie it up, it looks like. Shut up in the building. What's good? What's up with your Braves, bro? If you don't play good, you guys are going to get eliminated. Philly's the hottest team in baseball, but you scrapped it out, huh? It's that time off, Shep. Too much time off for the Braves and the Dodgers and the O's, you know. And when you have too much time off, and then you have a hot team that's been playing, that's a huge advantage for that team that's been playing. And if you've been sitting too long, you know, sometimes that can come back and bite you. I'm doing okay, brother. How are you? Do anything special for your birthday? You eating good food? Touchdown, Packers. A.J. Dillon. 5-yard tutty. All right, cracking tomorrow. Let's do it. And we'll give the proper love. No pun intended. Extra point is up. And it's good. All right, AJ. Nice job. It's crazy. It's his first TD of the year. Well, no wonder the Packers are 2-2. Nice job, though. My fantasy ain't looking good, but I'm only down by 2 points, so miracles could happen. I just need to get that Green Bay defense number down. I need the Raiders to fucking score. Get those numbers down. I need the Raiders to win, but not Josh Jacobs to do anything. I need everyone to do good except for Josh Jacobs. I need the Raiders to end up winning this game and holding the Packers to 10-13, and then I need the Raiders to get to like 24-27. I need 2 touchdowns and a field goal. You hear me, sports gods? Yeah, that Falcons win, that was a big, big win because obviously CJ Stroud is playing well, and that one could have went either way. It was like the first time I seen Ritter with some good zip, and they actually got Kyle Pitts of football. I did the reaction video today, and it was nice to be able to see Drake London and Kyle Pitts actually get the ball. You know, they did a little bit less of Bajan and a little bit more of the other supporting cast, which was good. And you don't want to waste someone like Kyle Pitts. You know, so that was kind of cool to be able to see that. But again, I did Bengals, Cardinals, Texans, Falcons, Eagles, Rams, Chiefs, Vikings, and Cowboys, Niners. And obviously the algorithm not helping me one bit, but I'm still grinding. But the Panthers video and the Lions video is almost at a K. So hopefully that we'll be able to hit the algorithm a little bit more. But you know, I'm used to getting hated on. So Raiders haven't scored more than 17 all season, but they will today. You guys will get to at least a minimum of 20. There's a chance for a touchdown and a field goal, or possibly 2 touchdowns and a field goal. Bet. Because it might not be the offense that scores. It could be a pick six or the special teams with a punt return or kick return for a touchdown. Some kind of magic. And I ain't talking Magic Johnson, baby. Let's go. Yeah. Blackhawks and Penguins. I might tune into that, actually. Finley in the building. What's good? Connor Bedard. I want to be able to see his debut. I mean, he's got the same kind of vibe as a Sidney Crosby or Alexander Ovechkin. So even if you're not a hockey fan, you already know that this guy is the truth. So yeah, definitely want to watch it. And you get to see Sidney Crosby also. What's better than that? So, and then we'll do the Kraken tomorrow. But I'll probably watch a little bit of that Rangers Orioles, and then I got to try to be able to find some hockey cards to be able to put on the side. All right, we're knotted up at 10, baby. Jacoby. Come on now. Don't be stupid, Jimmy. You already threw one pick. I'm grinding every day, doing reaction videos, spending time with Paisley, just enjoying my single life, what happened to my hands? It's better to be by yourself than be with someone that doesn't appreciate you or, can't accept your career or your dog. So, shit happens. So, I'm all right. You know what I mean? I don't feel like I have any mental health problems or anything like that. Paisley is really great for me. Having someone that won't give up on me, won't quit on me, and we spend all our time together. I do a lot of reading and a lot of film study. I'm grinding every day, so I'm keeping busy with you guys. So overall, I would say pretty good. This is the best time of year, isn't it? Football, basketball, baseball, hockey, NASCAR. From now until February, this is the best time of year. So Halloween coming up, then Thanksgiving, right? Christmas, New Year's. I don't really get a lot of time to be able to spend with a lot of people, but obviously we had a Rooftop join me for a Seahawks game, and we'll be streaming together again. Preston came over for obviously the WWE pay-per-view for Fastlane. So, there'll be people on the channel with me, here and there. Third down and 6. Shotgun set. God, Jimmy's terrible. I'd rather have the rookie in there rather than him, but also the offensive line is bad too. It's not just Jimmy. Jimmy looks nervous out there and he looks uncomfortable, but also the offensive line needs to improve. And if you had a better offensive line, then Jimmy wouldn't be as bad. He would still be bad, but he would be less bad. Oh, nice. Oh, nice. Vacation, cruise to Hawaii. Look at you living your best life. Yeah, but we're gaining subs. I wish the reaction videos would hit the algorithm a little bit more. Donos have been, they've been what we expect. Hopefully we want them to be a little bit better and whatnot. But it only, things are only going to improve if people are here in the room and whatnot. So, the more of the mods and more of the goats, the better opportunity we have to grow. If we don't have the mods or the goats in the building, then obviously we're going to suffer. That's just honest truth. So. Good, man. So what are you doing with this vacation? So you get to stop at a couple of the islands and then they keep going, or are you just going to like one specific island like Oahu or Honolulu? Like, how does that work? Yeah, you gotta treat yourself. You've been working hard, man. Yeah, but I'm hoping at one point we can get a little bit more consistency and maybe get some new goats. But obviously, a lot of the people that watch reaction videos haven't converted over to the live stream. Some people only watch reaction videos and whatnot. But I'm hoping that we can get some new goats to replace some of the old ones that don't show up anymore, and then hopefully we can end up being consistent again. Because I got a lot of. I mean, I haven't been able to buy anything for myself all year. Like everything that I've gotten has been pretty much gifted. It's like gifted shirts, gifted wrestling figures, like from Odin, gifted duck tickets to Colorado. Like there's nothing I can do to which kind of sucks when you literally work every day for pretty much nothing. It's like I'm doing is paying back and trying to get fit so I can actually survive and live. But I guess when you're doing your dream, you have to do a give and a take. Like make money working a job that I fucking hate that that's depressing, or have a tough time temporarily and do my dream. So I'd rather do that. So it makes me battle tested. Nice. I'm glad that you're having a good time, brother. Chef catching the sharks or cougars. How many cougars you on the prowl? You on the prowl for some cougs? Chef is on the prowl for some Washington State cougs. The cougs he's on the prowl for the cougs. Floater wide open. Come on, Raiders. Jesus Christ. Wow, they're about to score. I lost in fantasy. Fuck. I already knew I was going to lose, but now I really lost. Brandon in the building. What's good? Flag on the play. Now I'm down by 5. God damn, Green Bay with a 13 on defense. Bring that down to a 3, damn it. Of course, because I have ESP, that's why I know I said that. Because I knew it wasn't going to be some chick that was like 20. You're going to get the Cougs. They're going to be like 40 to 45. Your boy knows, bro. I'm there mentally with you. Okay. It's like Paw Patrol, except it's Cougs. You're in Cougar country, baby. And I went to Canby. Canby Cougs. The Cougars. Man in motion, first and goal. Dylan. Now they need a fumble or some kind of miracle now. Cougs. Second and goal. Audible by Jordan Love. Good defense. They got to hold them to a field goal here. Come on. You got all the numbers. You got all the Cougar numbers. Cougar 1, blonde Cougar, brunette Cougar, red-headed Cougar, Cougar country. He said, I didn't even mean it. My boy's calling. Third and goal. Shotgun set. Love. Floater. And complete. Field goal attempt is up, and it's good. Good job, Raiders, with the defense. Oh, look at you. Swag. Wow, look at all the Falcon fans. That's awesome. Falcons versus the Texans. That was just what you went to, right? That's very cool. Wow, look at that. Look at the guy with the old school Michael Vick jersey right in front of you. That's super dope. You got some pretty good seats, dude. Got some good videos here that I'm looking at. Hell yeah. And you got the dub. I mean, if you would have saw CJ Stroud, end up getting the dub, then it is what it is because he's been on fire. But that was like a big victory for Atlanta to keep pace with the Saints and Bucks. Like that was a must-win game. Very cool, man. I'm so happy that you enjoyed yourself. You attract the older women's now. You're not going to get the ladies that are necessarily like 18 to 21 anymore. Maybe that happened when you were like in your early 20s, but once you hit your like late 20s, like you hit 28, 29, or you hit 30, then it's going to end up you're going to go upper. It's going to end up being you're going to hit like 28, 30, 35, 40, 45. It's like the Cougs they can smell the greatness on you. They're like, oh, it's that Shep guy from the ATL, Cougar Country. Yeah, very cool, man. Yeah, he did go. So awesome, dude. Yeah, but probably also too, you're pretty mature. You got your shit together. There's not very many 28-year-olds that are trying to get their house situated and car and have a good job and that likes to party, but also very very responsible. Like you got a lot of your ducks in a row. So even though you're 28, your maturity is more like 38. So congratulations to you. Always like the females that are older. See, you were 23, you had 35. So now you're 28, so it's going to be 35 to 45. You like the maturity because you're more mature. So, fuck, Jacobs. All right, Odin. There you go, Inotech. Every individual is different. Some young people are more mature that beyond their years, and then some people are just immature and they're going to be immature their whole life. Yeah, I lost. So I knew I was going to probably lose unless I ended up getting a Raider win like 27-3. That's what I would have needed. Now I'm down by 8. Unless the Packer defense can get down to like a 3, they don't have a shot. Yeah, but I don't expect to go undefeated. I'm just super competitive, you know. I just try to do the best that I can. But when I have that weak lineup because of the buys and the injuries, I already know I'm going to lose. I'll do everything in my power to try to set myself up, but I can't really, set myself up properly if I got 5 guys on the bench I can't move because they're Keenan Allen, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Mike Evans. I mean, I can't get rid of those guys, So what am I supposed to do? I have to take the L. Otherwise, if they weren't as good, I could have manufactured a lineup to win, but I'm not going to get rid of a good piece for 1 week to have some scrub that is only going to be good for me for 1 week. That would be stupid. Like, oh, get rid of Keenan Allen and grab some scrub off the bench for a week. No, not happening. Jimmy Garoppolo, terrible quarterback. Offensive line, terrible. If they actually had a better offensive line and a better quarterback, yeah, a lot of the offensive problems would be fixed. And Jimmy's delivery is terrible. Like he's so slow with it. You know what I mean? It's like when he gets the ball, he looks. It's like, bro, like you make it so obvious where you're going. Like his delivery and the way that he holds onto the football. You know what I mean? And then he does like that extra pat on the football before he throws it. He's not accurate. He doesn't have zip. Like he's terrible. He's a backup quarterback. Bad coaching too. There he is. Jimmy only works in an offense where he doesn't have to do too much. Exactly. When you're just a game manager, where all the good pieces are around you. But if you don't have good pieces around you, what are you going to do? Nothing. And that's what we get. Yeah, you're struggling like a motherfucker, dude. Huh? Yeah, both of you guys have had bad luck. Davante Adams or Jacoby Myers about to get in the end zone. Let's go. Let's go. Oh, that's beautiful, bro. Is that the same thing that you went last time? Because you've gone on this cruise already before, right? This isn't the first time. You went to the same thing in the past, also, right? Because I think you sent me pictures of the similar stuff in the past. Either that or I'm a time traveler and I remember those photos. Like I feel like I'm having deja vu. Like you've already been to it. Like you've gone on this cruise before and you've visited these places already, right? Because you've done this before. It's not like brand new. You've done it before, right? Either that or I'm going crazy. Because I swear these photos that you just sent me, I've already seen them before. Yeah, Ritter needs to be replaced. Backup. Yeah, but also too, it's like you have to be very active within the first 3 weeks. And if you're not active and you're not making the right pickups at the right time, then you're gonna, lose a lot of games because, like I said, there's going to be really, really good starters that are available the first 3 weeks. But once we get past week 3, it starts to dry up real quick. So, if you're not active when you have those injuries and you don't get yourself good insurance plans and you just try to ride it out, then you end up only having a win or no wins or 2 wins. It's really rough. Yeah. And that's just based off past experience. So Oh, okay. I swear I've seen those photos before, bro. I must be a time traveler. Shotgun set, 3rd down and 3. Come on, Raiders. Get in the end zone. There we go. 1st down, Raiders. DJ Moore. That's ridiculous. Yeah, and like I said, if you're a Panther fan, look at the targets. Why would you go Scary Terry, when you actually know that Thielen is the number one receiver for you and he gets like 10 targets a game? I would be going Thielen every week over McLaurin. McLaurin is the better player, but who gets more targets? Thielen. That's what you got to do in fantasy. Targets. Even though Bryce Young and Thielen aren't the greatest combo, like at least on paper from outsiders looking in, but if you look at how many targets Thielen's getting and his points, week in and week out are better than Terry. Terry will end up having maybe a one big week more, but who's consistent? And consistency is the key in fantasy football. You need consistency. So, yeah. You can't get enamored with popular names. That's where you get fucked in fantasy. You're like, oh, Scary Terry McLaurin, more popular than Adam Thielen. Why would I go Adam Thielen? And then you look at Adam Thielen getting 10 targets, 12 targets, 13 targets, 9 targets, and he's putting up 10 points or more every week. And then you look at Scary Terry, and some of the weeks he's not even putting up 10 points. So it's a no-brainer. You have to be able to dig deep and just go with the guy, even if he's not popular, right? But the guy that's getting looks. That's what you got to do. Yeah. But you live and you learn. But even regardless of who Thielen is going up against, regardless, that Bryce doesn't have a whole lot of options, and he's gonna go to Thielen, even if you lose every game this year, that he's gonna go to him a lot, and that's what you want in fantasy. You want targets, 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 opportunities. Unless you're just banking on McLaurin getting 3 catches and one of them is a 60-yard touchdown, and then that might work out for you like 1 week out of 5. But consistently, you put Thielen in for the majority of the time, regardless of who's defending him, he's going to get looks. And if he plays a shit defense, maybe he ends up scoring once or twice. If he plays a good defense, hell, he still might put up 10 points because of the targets in the PPR. I assume you're in PPR, so you live and you learn. Not everyone can predict who's going to have the big monster games. Like, when's the last time that we've seen 3 guys have 3 tutties in the same week? DJ Moore, George Kittle, Jamar Chase. I don't think I've ever seen it. I think this is the first time in NFL history we've had 3 guys get 3 tutties in the same week. Someone can look that up if they want to see if that's ever happened before, but I don't remember. Yeah. And of course, I didn't have any of those guys in my fantasy. And the guy that had Jamar Chase in our league benched DJ Moore. He could have had 100 points with 2 receivers. He was pacing for like 200 to 280 if he would have played like the best lineup he had. But he's still, I think, going to end up winning. Come on, Devontae. Come on, Jacoby Myers. I'm down by 8. I need that Green Bay defense to go down. I don't need it. And there's no Jacobs touchdown. Devontae Adams. Fuck. I lost. Touchdown, Raiders. Good job, Jacobs. Well, if the Raiders can end up beating the Packers, then I guess at least I got a little win from that. Can't get what you want all the time. Extra point is up, and it's good. Let's go, baby. Nothing more embarrassing for a Packer fan to lose to the fucking Raiders. Let's go, Raiders. Best color rush jersey besides the Saints? This one. Nothing is cleaner than a white jersey with the silver number in the middle. Ooh, baby, that looks fire. Yeah, and then eventually when you end up getting a true number one receiver like a DK Metcalf type of guy or an AJ Brown, then you'll be able to see Bryce elevate his game and take off. But you'll have to wait for that player to get picked or come in free agent wise. 3-1 Diamondbacks, Dodgers. Sorry, Dad, they're frauds. They're not good. Now I'm down by 13. There's no hope for me now. But you can't expect to win when you're at 111. I mean, that's a terrible score in fantasy. Like Sarah got more than me. Chief got more. Seahawks Talk got more. I mean, I beat Megan, but it looks like I beat Shep, but beat Chosen One. So I beat half of the league with my shit ass score. But Reflect, Jerry, and a lot of the other teams ended up Chief. A lot of the other teams that did well scored 130 to 160, and that's usually where I like to be. But what can you do? Justin Jefferson with a hammy, 5.8. Bills D with a 4. Maher, my kicker, with a 2. Buster. Amon Ra, injured. Rashad White with a bye. Keenan Allen with a bye. Mike Evans with a bye. How am I supposed to overcome that? Jesus Christ. And I didn't leave any points on the bench. Ramondre had 2 points. He's garbage. Right? CJ Stroud had 14, but Mahomes had 19. And then Moody had 6. So I guess I left 4 points on the bench. I could have had 4 more if I chose Moody over Maher, but still would have lost, more than likely. Saints, Colorado, fire. They are fire. This is a fire, and then this other one is a fire. And then this one, that color rush right there. Fire, fire, fire. Fire, fire, fire. Nice to see AK back, even though I'm a Bucks fan, the offense is just flowing much, much better. You're not going to get Drew Brees back or Sean Payton back, it looks like, but at least you got AK back. I will always root for him. I don't give a shit what any Buck fan says. There's just certain players on that roster that I like. I can't change my mind. Sorry. Do I like Cameron Jordan? Yeah. Do I like Lattimore? Yeah. Do I like AK? Yeah. Do I like Olave? Yeah. But AK is probably my favorite besides Demario Davis. Those are my 2 favorite on the team. I'm a linebacker guy. What do you expect? Yeah, but it's all good. No one's going undefeated in fantasy. There's going to be at least a loss or 2 losses from the top teams, and then the third place and fourth place team will have a couple too. But it don't matter as long as you get in the playoffs. I mean, hell, I went 13-1 and lost by 0.5 to Shep. So what the fuck, anything can happen. He slows like water. Yes, he does. And you can tell that there's a spark in that offense because you don't have Jamal rushing anymore, which is probably a mistake bringing him in. He hasn't done shit, and then he went on to IR. So he might be the coolest, realest dude as far as player with the Pokemon and the anime and all that. Just a cool dude, but not a good running back for the Saints. And then obviously the O-line problems, Carmichael, Allen, there's issues there. But, when you have AK, you can cover up some of those problems. Going long, going deep. Watson incomplete. 17-13. Third down and 7. Nice catch. Yeah, fantasy is like one of those things that just depends if it takes over your life and you care about it. or not, or if you have injuries, or not, or if you make adjustments or you don't. There's a lot of factors of being good in fantasy and being unlucky too. So it's more important to have an elite O line. If you have an elite O line, then you can have an average running back, quarterback, wide receiver, and tight end, and they'll put up above average numbers. That's the most important. Like I said, you can get good production. You can have all star quarterback, running back, wide receiver, and tight end, but if your O line stinks, you ain't doing shit. I mean, ask the Chiefs in the Super Bowl against my Bucks. Didn't even score a touchdown. It might be the karma for the 0.5 because I ain't losing like that this year. Hell no. I'm going for the chip. I'm going for the chip like I do every year. But as long as Mike Evans and Amon Ra aren't like, and Jay Jetta, hopefully those 3 injuries aren't like bad because if they are, I'm fucked. That's like 100 points between those 3 guys. Keenan Allen, Jay Jetta, and Amon Ra, Mike Evans. Fuck. Those 4 guys could get me 100, 120. Juwan Johnson, go Ducks. I am excited about the Duck game against UW. I wish I could go. Yeah, 4th seed. That's all that matters is just getting to that 4th spot, just getting in. And I peeked ahead, to be able to look in the playoffs, in the best of 2 weeks, in the first round, best of 2 weeks, and the second round. And sometimes it's just luck, like who has the best green matchups at the end. So you might be like a 7-6 team, and you're going against a 13-1 team like me. But if I got all red or neutral, and you got all green, you might win the championship. And that's how fantasy goes. Yeah, I need Amon Ra to be able to, keep things moving. Because I got Amon Ra, Keenan Allen, Mike Evans, and Jay Jetta. I got the best wide receiving core in the league. I decided to go wide receiver heavy over running back heavy, because of the injuries, and I wanted to flip the script. And it's worked out good until this week. But if you got an O line like the Niners, or the Eagles, or a D line like the Niners or the Eagles, yeah, they have some good pieces there, but like you don't need a Patrick Mahomes. You can have a Brock Purdy. You got a George Kittle, but you don't necessarily need a George Kittle for that offense to be successful. They could have like a lower name tight end on the Niners and still put up numbers like Kittle because the O line is so good. You know, like you could have Raheem Mostert and Jeff Wilson and get you to a Super Bowl, but it makes it better when you have a Christian McCaffrey. Sack 'em, baby. 12 noon, you know what time it is. Time for a sack lunch. Yum, 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 yum. Max Crosby. Mad Max, baby. This guy's kind of good. Picked. Yeah. Let's go. Let's go. It's a pick party. It's a pick party. No, Evans is not going to get traded by the deadline. We're keeping him. He's got to be able to keep the records going for the Buccaneers. And we're 3-1, and we're probably going to beat you guys this weekend. It's going to be close. You know, it's going to be Lions and Bucks. You know, Seahawks. We're all underneath the Eagles and Niners, right? And we're wearing the creamsicles. Mike Evans is the best wide receiver we've ever had. We're not trading him. And now, after the year is over, if you guys want to offer him a deal, or the Chiefs, or the Lions, or whoever, yeah, he may join another team next year. But you ain't getting my fucking best player at the deadline. That's like me saying I'm going to get Amon-Ra at the deadline. Not happening. Nice try though. Can't trade Godwin because the thing is, if Evans is gone, we have to keep one or the other. So Godwin ain't going nowhere. If anyone's leaving, it'll be Mike Evans. It just depends if he wants to join a team, you know, that needs a wide receiver like the Bears, or he wants to go to like the Chiefs with Mahomes, you know, or go to like a team like Josh Allen and the Bills. Like, do you want to go to a contender, or do you want to get paid, or do you want to have a legacy and stay with the Bucks your whole career? That'll be a decision that he'll have to make. So. What happened? But, you know, that's me, you know, like, it's like if you're gonna get rid of Godwin and Evans, and then what do we have left? I mean, we're not doing that. You gotta at least have one. Love. Pick City, Pick City, Pick City. It's like Rap City, but worse. It's a pick party. It's a pick party. I might lose in fantasy, but at least the Raiders are winning this game. 122 to 111. Too much for me to overcome. If Jay Jetta just would have been healthy that game, I would have won this matchup easily. Jordan Love with a 5.94. I mean, I almost got what I needed. But Green Bay defense is still at a 10. I needed that to be at a 3. Jordan Love at an 8, and Jacobs at an 8. And they're at a combined almost 20. So what can you do? Justin Fields on the Falcons would be nice. He would be a good fit, and he would be way more productive than he is with the Bears, 100%. But if they saw enough out of him, instead of trying to get Caleb Williams, maybe they'll try to give him weapons like the best O lineman, you know, Marvin Harrison Jr., and then like a linebacker. You know, get someone that has Urlacher vibes, or Roquan Smith, or Khalil Mack vibes. And then if you do that, and you get a leader on the defense, one of the best offensive linemen, and then one of the best weapons, you know, like a Marvin Harrison Jr., then you don't even have to worry about getting Caleb or Drake May or Michael Penix Jr. because you got Justin Fields there. First down and 10. Marcus Peters. Like when Garoppolo throws, every throw feels like it's going to be an interception. Is that just me? Or like when you watch his delivery and the way he throws, his footwork is horrible. He takes too long to throw, and then he stares down the guy, and there's no zip on the football. Like if you just get anyone to break the route and jump on the football, it's going to be an interception like 8 times out of 10, or at least tipped in the air or deflected. But you do need to replace Ritter, though. He's not good enough to be the Falcons' guy moving forward. Not with all those, weapons. You know, you need to build the O line, build the D line, get a better quarterback. Let Ritter walk or have him be the backup. You know, he's got a good zip on his football, but he's way too inconsistent. You know, and then, like I said, it's like it took him what 5? It took him like a year and a half to realize Kyle Pitts is actually kind of good. You know, but there's been also games where Kyle Pitts looks not good, where he's slipping on routes and he just doesn't look like the same player that they drafted out of Florida a couple years ago. But this last game against the Texans, he looked money. It was good to see. Third down and 3. Shotgun set. Hanging on to the football too long, idiot. It's 12 noon. You know what time it is? Time for a sack lunch. Jimmy G sucks. Yum, 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 yum. I'd rather have the rookie in there, right? I'd rather have him in there rather than Jimmy. Why is Jimmy even playing? He sucks. Put in the rookie. He's better. And he'll suck too, but at least he'll make plays and they'll play harder for him. He gets rid of the football quicker. Put in the rook. Jimmy sucks. Like, I'd rather have a rookie playing than Jimmy. That's how bad. I mean, not even just a Raiders rookie, but almost any rookie over him. Like, I'd rather have Ritter over him, if that says anything. There's quite a few guys I'd rather have over Jimmy. Like as far as quarterbacks are concerned, he just hangs on to the ball too long. He's an idiot. Throws picks, turnover prone, stares down his wide receiver or his target. He's just not good. But also, you have to understand that the offensive line is not good either, and that's a big part of it. If the offensive line actually was worth a damn, Jimmy could go through his progressions. But it's so fucking bad. It's like one of the worst in the NFL that all the blame is going to go towards Jimmy, including myself, but it should go towards that offensive line. They're just as responsible as Jimmy, if not more. But Jimmy's not doing himself any fucking favors by hanging onto the ball, knowing your line is not the San Francisco 49er offensive line. This is not the New England line. This is not the 49er line, but in his brain, he's just thinking about, what date he's going to go on after the game is over. Because I'm going to use my good looks. I'm going to get me a new one, a baddie, he says. Bajan, CJ Stroud, Bajan. There's going to be a few people in the running, for it, for sure. McDaniels knows if the rookie plays, he's getting fired. Well, he's already getting fired. Do you want to end up winning the game, or do you want to have someone that, at least with the rookie, he'll make mistakes, but you can at least put up with it because he's a rookie? I feel the players play harder for him, and you'll get better production out of the team if you play him. It's like, what? Because Jimmy's a good-looking dude and he fucks up all the time. Like, you have a better chance of winning games week in and week out. If the offensive line is going to look like this for the whole year, play the rookie. You're already getting fired. At least give the Raider fans a little bit of hope at the quarterback position that he can actually go through his progressions faster than Jimmy. He will make mistakes, but you can live with it at least more than you can with Jimmy, because when Jimmy does it, you're just like, but if the rookie does it, you can, you'll give him a little of a bit of a pass, Jimmy's been cooked for a long time. Yeah, you best believe that's true. Yeah, McDaniels, garbage. Davis is an owner, garbage. Jimmy, garbage. The only thing that's good, Davante Adams, Jacoby, and Max Crosby. And McDaniels, mine, Jimmy is better. Yeah, because he's got the experience. The experience of being shitty. Right? Uh-oh. Your boy's going to pull a muscle. Don't try. Leave some Cougars for me, bro. Leave some Cougs for your boy. Leave some Washington State Cougs on that fucking on that cruise for you, boy. Limit yourself to 3 numbers, okay? Limits, my son. Limits. Have a good time, brother. You gonna give me a Hawaiian? Shit. I probably, yeah, that would, you know what? I've never dated a Hawaiian girl, but I think obviously there's a lot of Japanese, Hawaiian, and obviously mixed race, but there'd be a lot of Japanese and a lot of Hawaiian and Samoan and a Pacific Islander. Yeah, I imagine there's a few I could probably fall in love with. More than a few. Maybe that's my destiny, Shep. Maybe I'm destined to be with a Hawaiian girl one day. I mean, people think I'm Hawaiian or like half, so you never know. Save some of the Hawaiian Cougs for your boy. 17-13 Raiders. First down and 18. Raiders 17-13. Raiders need to make a big defensive play. I mean, fuck, if I'm going to lose in fantasy, I mean, we got to at least get the Raider dub. We got to at least get a guy, at least a victory, even though it doesn't fucking matter and he hasn't been interested in Raider football in 20 years and since when Raider football actually was worth a damn with like Rich Gannon. That was probably the last time it was worth a damn, right? And I get it, but a little bit of joy, at least, spoiling some other team that supposedly is extremely overrated, like the Cowboys, and giving them a loss would be, many NFL fans would rejoice. Napoleon Kaufman. That's a good name. A little UCLA, a little Raiden. Hit the ground. Incomplete. Nice try, Dylan. Before back then, though, it was Charlie Gardner. It was Rich Gannon, Charlie Gardner, Jerry Porter, Tim Brown, Jerry Rice. And that's when they had the Barrett Robbins issue where he had like mental disorder and then didn't show up for the Super Bowl at center and whatnot. Mental breakdown. Or it might have been like some ADHD or bipolar, I think is what they thought it was. Going deep, pick it off. Incomplete. Max Crosby, baby. Elliot trying to help out. Appreciate that. All right, here's where the Raiders win the game. Max Crosby takes over the game by himself. That's why I love him so much. He's like a Nick Bosa who does the same, and the guy that does it the best in the entire league is TJ Watt. TJ Watt single-handedly won that fucking game against the Ravens. He's so fucking good. Where it's like, even if Minka and some of the other guys are injured or fucking, Cameron Hayward is fucking out, it don't fucking matter. TJ Watt, you can have 4 guys on him, and he just like flicks them away. He's like, get off me, you little boy. Bang, bang, bang. And then he gets in there and fucking sack lunches them, punches the football out, gets a fucking fumble for a touchdown or a pick six. Like, who would have thought TJ Watt would end up being better than JJ Watt? Like, JJ Watt won like NFL like player of the year, like not just defensive player of the year, but like he was like the best player in football for a couple years. But then the injuries started stacking up. And now if TJ Watt can stay healthy for another, like, I don't know, 10, 15 years, he's going to go down as the better Watt. Like, who would have thought that? And it ain't Derek. It's TJ. TJ and JJ are the best duo brothers of all time. Is there a better duo than that? I don't think so, because both of those guys are Hall of Famers. Like, you got Rondé and Tiki, but Rondé was Hall of Famer, Tiki wasn't, But you ain't gonna get anything better than the TJ and the JJ Watt. I mean, not only Pro Bowl, All Pro, but fucking Hall of Fame. Like, some of the best that we've ever seen. Like, imagine how good those genetics are. Your mom and dad, and you got 3 fucking sons in the NFL. 2 of them that are Hall of Famers, 1 that's a role player. I'd say that's a pretty damn good genes. Yep. Cameron Jordan is underrated. I 100% agree. But the thing is, the difference between TJ Watt, Nick Bosa, and Max Crosby compared to like Cam Jordan doesn't single-handedly take over the game. He's a piece of the puzzle with Demario Davis and Lattimore, but he won't take over the game like those guys do. Those guys do things that certain guys can't do. Or if they do it, they only do it once in a season or twice. Those guys do it on the daily. Like, every game, they do something like, oh my God, like, how did they do that? So, Manning's. Well, Arch was Eli, yeah, borderline Hall of Fame. Peyton, one of the greatest of all time, but that's not better than TJ or JJ, not in my opinion. Mannings are, you got one Manning that was elite, another Manning that was average, and then another one that was a borderline, Hall of Fame but wasn't, because Eli had a good year, bad year, good year, bad year. Yeah, he got 2 Super Bowls from Brady, but putting Eli in the Hall of Fame would be disrespectful to the rest. Eli is not Joe Montana. Eli is not John Elway. Eli is not Peyton Manning. Eli is not Joe Montana. No, he's not. You know, it's like saying like Robert Ory is the best NBA player of all time because of all the rings that he got. Just because you got 6, 7, 8 rings and whatnot from like 3 different teams doesn't make you. It makes you one of the best traveling, journeymen, with rings. But if you're doing it based off rings only, then Robert Ory is the greatest athlete in this modern day, besides Tom Brady. And obviously, we know that's not goddamn true. St. Brown brothers, no. Sewell brothers, no. Nice try though, but those are good name drops. I'm a Duck fan too, so obviously, I'm through and through with the Ducks. Yeah, because Joe Buck is an idiot. The thing is like if you want to run the football, right, you have to have a good offensive line to do that, to bleed the clock, so you actually can get like 4 yards per carry, not 1 yard. Because then if you do run, 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 then you're sitting at fucking what, 4th down and 7 or 3rd down and 7. It's like you need to have it closer to 3rd down and 1. You just can't be like, well, we're just going to run the ball and bleed the clock. And then what happened? You ran the ball and you got -1 yard. The clock is still running, right? But you're not doing yourself any favors. Like you have to throw the ball if you're the Raiders if you want to win this game. And that's like opposite of what you normally would do. But if they know you're going to run and they're a good run stuffing team, you're fucked. Gains a couple. Harbaugh brothers. Nothing better than TJ or JJ. I'm still waiting. Now Casey's on fucking Google, Yahoo, Bing, trying to outduel the wits. He's trying to outduel me and trying to find something on Google, Bing, or Yahoo that's got better than TJ, JJ, and you're not going to find it. You're not gonna find it. That's the closest one that you're going to get. Kelce, Travis, and Jason, both Hall of Famers, right? Travis, like TJ, but is Jason Kelce, is he a Hall of Famer? Probably, right? But is he higher than JJ Watt? And the answer would be no. I mean, as far as offensive line pecking order, because JJ and TJ are going to be known as like the best ever, right? Jason is one of the really, really good players, but he's not going to be known as like the best center of all time. Now if he was like one of the best centers, with Kelce, then he would be right there with TJ and JJ. But Elliott's like, let me look on Google, motherfucker. I can find something. Kelce's with no Taylor Swift though, because Taylor Swift is added, then that goes down a peg, right? Bosa's, that's a good one too. That is a good one. Nick is better than Joey, but they end up having injury problems. Now, can Nick and Joey end up being Hall of Famers? Yeah, Nick is. But Joey, it seems like he is, but he always gets hurt. But I just need to see some health. But those are good. Kelce Bros is good. Bosa's is good. Those are very good. If you could actually get both Kelce's in the Hall of Fame and both Bosa's in the Hall of Fame. But I don't know if you're ever. But the thing is Nick or Joey or are they ever going to be considered like the best in the NFL? Like TJ Watt breaking the sack record or JJ being the best defensive player, like MVP? Like maybe Nick Bosa will have an opportunity to get that, but the Kelce's aren't going to get that award. Kelce can be known as one of the best linemen and one of the best tight ends, if not the best tight end. But like with Bosa, if you end up turning into TJ Watt and breaking the sack record, you have to do like big historical things. Kuechly, Olsen, Smith, Senior, Peppers. The good old days. Muhsin Muhammad. I mean, don't make me out name drop you, Jake Delhomme. Don't make me out name you and dropping the names. The Thomas Davis, Jake Delhomme, Muhsin Muhammad. Tim Biaka Batuka. Mic drop. Game over. I mean, there's nothing. You can't come back from that. You can't come back from that. Derek Jeter, he's like, I love this commercial. I got a free car out of it for my kids. He's like, look at me wagging the ear for free because I'm Derek Jeter. I need to get to that point. Don't forget about the Hasselbecks. Hasselbecks. Jake Delhomme. I mean, like I said, if you watch football and you're insane and you watch it every year and you can remember shit, and then also too on top of that, me being into like sports memorabilia and cards and action figures and McFarlane's and starting lineups and the video games, it's like, yeah, like I don't know. I feel I got that Sheldon Big Bang Theory brain, but it's sports, and it's just like it's stuck there like a post-it note. Like a lot of things I feel I don't forget. Like once it's in there, it's in there. And I think as long as I remember from like 3, 4, 5 years old, hey, I might be 41, but that bitch is in there somewhere. Clear out some of the cobwebs. You feel me? It's still in there. Come on, Raiders! I lost in fantasy. Let's get the dub for A guy. Come on, sports gods. I wasn't going to win this week, but maybe we can win for Raider fans across the globe. 52-yarder, golly, I don't like this. 4th and 1. Kick is up. Doinked it. No good. Told you. He already missed one 50-yarder and then another one. That's why O-Dog dropped him in fantasy. Then Sarah picked him up and said, this is good. I'm going to keep this. And she said, uh-oh, this is not good. I'm dropping him too. I'm not going to drop a piece if it ain't good. And you were with the best kicker in fantasy for 2 years in a row, almost 3. And now you can't make a 50-yard field goal. Not good. You hit a doink, 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 and you missed 2 of them in a clutch moment. And you might cost the Raiders the game. Not good. Sometimes I drop good players. Sometimes I drop players that I don't believe in. And Daniel Carlson, I don't believe in you because Carr is no longer there and you're no longer good. That sucks. Max Crosby time. But you picked him up thinking I made a mistake. You're like, O-Dog dropped Carlson. I'm going to get him, and I'm going to get 10 points of fantasy every week. And then all of a sudden you saw him get like a 2, and you're like, oh, fuck. He was right. Should have went for it. Should have went for it. You know what I mean? But your offensive line stinks. Now, if the Raiders had a good offensive line, they could have ran it with Jacobs 3 times and got a couple first downs. Game over. But when you don't have a good offensive line, you have to mix it up. Because the Packers know if you run and bleed the clock, they'll just stack 9 in the box and you're going to get negative 1 yard, 1 yard. You're fucked. And McDaniels is like trying to outcoach himself. He fucking parkied that shit. Ball a little double doink, doink. Doink. 17-13, only up by 4. But at least you're up by 4, so a field goal doesn't do anything for you. And now Raiders are playing like a soft zone. They're like, well, if it doesn't get behind us, well, they're just going to keep dinking and doinking, and then you're going to lose the game 20-17, dummies. Under further review. Where is the ball? And then is it the front of the yellow line or is it like the back part of the yellow line? It's like a lot of people get confused with that when they see the yellow line or the touchdown. If it crosses the plane in the front, the first part, that's all that matters. It's the front part of the line, not the middle or the back. At least for the touchdowns. And then, the front part. And then obviously for the first downs, sometimes you have to get the back part. It's very like tricky as a fan. You're like, okay, is it the front part of the line, the middle? You have to get over it, or do you have to actually cross the back part of the line? Or the little mini square that they have on the screen. They don't explain things very clearly. So it's almost like, okay, we'll make the rule as we go, if it's a touchdown or a first down. I mean, think about it for a second. When you end up having that line that they show on the screen, what is it? Is it the front part? You've seen that called. Is it past the front part? You've seen that. And is it the back part of that, the end of the line, the end of the square? Does it have to get past that? I mean, does anybody really know? Nobody knows because they just change it all the time. Oh, it's there. First down. Well, which part? I don't know. I guess we just fucking go with it and see if people complain on the internet. Meh. Right? Nobody has really like thought about that, right? Front part, middle to get past the front part, or do you actually have to clear the whole fucking line? So many like little mini rules within the game. First down. That was ballsy, but it paid off because he's trying to win. Packer fans just look miserable. And not every Packer fan looks miserable, but they all have like a certain look to them. Like every Packer fan that I look at, they all look the same. They all have a certain look about them. The demeanor is all the same from Packer fans. Not every single one, but a lot of them. Like they all have this certain like way they carry themselves and the way their face looks and their body, like the way that they their vibe and their aura. It's just like you look at them and it's like, okay, I know what I'm looking at. First down and 10. Shotgun set. Love. Musgrave with the short gain. Raiders are like, just go ahead and score a touchdown on us. Fuck it. We need to try to win this for a guy. Now, if you were really studly, Max Crosby would get a pick or he would get a big sack lunch. Tip, come on, intercept that. Golly, number 5. Get your hands out of your butt. Stop scratching yourself and get that pick. You're right there. You can smell them from a mile away. People in Chicago too. There's, like I said, because the portions they give you of the food is ridiculous. Like when I went to Chicago, like you ask for a small, and literally the burrito is like as big as my head, and I'm like, how much is this? Like $18? And they're like, no, $2.50. I'm like, what? I'm like, this is like $12 to $18 burrito. They're gonna give it to me for like $2.75. Like, no wonder everyone's fucking fat as shit over there because the portions are ridiculous. Deep dish, all the wings, and it's delicious. I mean, hell, I would be overweight if I lived in Chicago or Wisconsin. You best believe. I mean, I would be eating cheese curds for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Fucking deep dish pizza every night. Your boy would be fat and complete. But I'm trying to be better. I'm trying to be. I've dropped 60 pounds. Can you believe that? I feel my face has thinned out a lot, and like I can actually fit into certain clothes that I didn't think I'd ever get to fit into anymore. But I've worked really fucking hard. No booze really, no beer, no soda really, and walking like an hour to 2 hours a day every day with Paisley. I mean, if that's not dedication, besides doing this to this channel, I don't know what is. Look at these Packer fans; they all look alike. All of them. Looks of nervousness, plenty of cheese, and a lot of attitude. Pickett! God damn it. Kenny that ball. Sons of bitches. Fucking Kenny that. Pickett that. Golly. If I lived in Louisiana, I would be hella fat too. Po' boys, fucking gumbo, etouffee, all the good that I watch Gordon Ramsay and all the different hosts. I mean, Food Network or Gordon Ramsay or Man versus Food, any of the programs. Guy Fieri, Gordon Ramsay, yes, please. Third down and 10. Pick it off. Get a stack lunch, Crosby. Win the game, Raiders. Let's win it for a guy. Get him. Pick it. Hey, ESP, baby. Couldn't give me what I wanted, the fantasy win and the Raider win, but me and Elliot said, trap game, Raiders are going to win. And then they had 99% of the country. Packers. The Green Bay, they're better. They're a better team. Jordan Love, right? Not today. Not today. Nothing makes me happier seeing the Packers lose. Like I said, some people on the channel, Packer fans, like Air Whiting, Caitlin, there's a few that I like. But there's a lot that I don't. That's just being honest. There's a lot that I don't. And I love seeing them fucking have misery. Because all the shit talking they did to the Lions fans, right, to the Bears fans, the Vikings fans, they thought it was all jokes, when they had Favre and Rodgers and they could just do it forever. And this is what you fucking get for being an asshole all those years. This is fucking karma, and I fucking love it. Don't you have to, what's the point of disrespecting the Vikings and the Lions and the Bears? What's the point? You're the best team. You got Hall of Fame QBs, Bart Starr. You got fucking Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers, and you only won one Super Bowl with each quarterback, with Favre and Rodgers. And you're going to be that cocky? You're going to be that way, right? This is what you get. And the sports gods love your boy. I say it, then it happens. You're welcome. Hey, guy, got you the dub, baby. Anthony in the building. Let's go. I love it. I love it. Hey, guy, that was for you. Don't ever say that I never did nothing for you. I love it, man. Because like I said, every Packer fan, whether they want to disguise it or not, they are that way. They are that way. They act like they don't do it, but they do it. They don't act like they go extra on those teams. You act like you've been there before and act like you are the story franchise that you are. Why are you shit talking unnecessarily against three teams that are obviously lower than you? Eventually something good is going to happen to those other teams. So love it, man. Nothing makes me happier. Because and a lot of fans, they don't even realize they're that way. But if like I said, it's not just one or two fans. There's a lot that are that same type of way. And if you're a fan base that likes to talk shit to the others all the time, and it's one thing when you're going one-on-one, right? That's fine. But when you're like, there's no one's playing, and then you're just doing like a stream or you're talking with friends, and then you just got to be like talking shit about the other three for just no fucking reason at all. Right? Eventually that shit comes back to bite you, and I fucking love it. I fucking love it, man. Love it, man. Anthony with the dub. Like I said, me and Elliot might have been the only two people on planet Earth that knew the Raiders were going to win. I had that gut feeling, and it's not just for my hate for the Packers. It's just feeling that this could be like the game of the year for them. Just more desperate at home. Max Crosby, Jacoby. And a little Devontae, even though Jimmy Garoppolo sucks, but it was good enough to win, though. And Max Crosby's the truth. And I don't really like the players over there. Like I said, it's fan bases really dictate how I feel, about teams, that if I like them or if I don't like them, And I feel that like Saints, Philly, the Eagles, Cowboys, they get a bad rap, for being toxic. But in all true honesty, right, the Packer fans are just as toxic as those three. It's just that maybe it doesn't get talked about as much, or it doesn't get called out, because people let them do it. Fuck that. Fuck that. Fuck that. Well, Cowboy fans are just delusional because they remember the good old days with Danny White and Roger Staubach and Troy Aikman, and they used to be like the thing, like the coolest thing besides the Niners. 3 Super Bowls in 4 years, bro. Think about if you were to do that now, like how amazing that would feel. You know what I'm saying? 3 out of the last 4 would feel great. No one can take that Cowboy, love away. But when you don't have the right owner, you don't have the right coach, you don't have like if Jerry Jones wasn't there and Jimmy Johnson was there, and then you had not Dak there, and Dan Quinn was still there with Micah, and then you were able to build it properly, the Cowboys could go to the Super Bowl and win again, I think. But, sometimes if you're just going to keep repeating yourself over and over, you're going to get the same continuous results. So. Yeah, well, obviously with Hurricane Katrina and everything else, but also too, let's be honest, Inotech, some Saints fans are normal and they're not biased, but a lot of them are incredibly biased, and they end up being extra towards the Falcons and the Panthers and Bucks where they don't need to be. And sometimes Saints fans are toxic with each other. That's why most Saints fans can't be a part of Saint fan pages, because Saints fans are infighting and enemies with each other. You already know when you're fighting each other, you're not even fighting Bucks and Panthers and Falcon fans and arguing with them. You literally are going face to face, wanting to beat each other up, and you're both Saints fans. What does that say? That the fan base is toxic as fuck. And that you get that with Cowboys, you get that with the Eagles, but you get it with the Saints the most because they have attitude. The Saints fans have this swagger, cockiness,
and they have this attitude about them. And like I said, I like them. I mean, they're one of my favorite fan. Hell, their fan base supports me maybe more than most of the other fan bases, besides maybe the Chiefs and the Eagles, and that means a lot. I would rather have, being who I am, more Saint fans than Bucks fans. Bucks fans are, some are fake, and some are haters, some are unnecessary, and I don't want to associate myself around someone that's acting like an asshole for no reason. It's like I like to be able to show love to the teams that have good players, even if it's Panthers, Falcons, or Saints. So that's why the Saints fans are like, you know what, this guy knows. So, oh, it's definitely Jared, Josh McDaniel, Jared last year, 100%. Yeah, but let's just be real. It doesn't matter what age you are. I deal with Saint fans on the daily. You know what I mean? They're just as bad as Eagle fans or Cowboy fans that are supposedly annoying. You know what I mean? But a lot of them are very delusional. You know what I mean? Like even when Brady was there and everything, it's like it's one thing to have this rivalry, but just because you stick your chest out and you start talking shit more doesn't mean that the Saints are going to beat the Bucks. You know what I mean? Like, it's like it's one thing. It's like you can do it in real life, if you want to be like try to be intimidating, but just because you puff out your chest, Saints fans, and this is not maybe the people that are in the Saints fans that are in the room, and you talk shit and you talk louder like Stephen A, you're chatting. I feel it, but other people can't feel that same energy. And sometimes when you talk shit too much, bad shit happens. Like, you beat us twice in the regular season, and then boom, shakalaka, I got you in the playoffs when it mattered. Boom, Super Bowl for the Bucks. And obviously, Saints fans are bitter that I got Brady in 1 year, and I was dog shit for like 12 years in a row. You guys were the best team in football for 4 years, 5 years, best record in the regular season. And then here comes Tom Brady, Gronk, and AB, and I steal a Super Bowl from you. I get it, man. I would be mad too. You know what I mean? I would be mad also. But you can't necessarily, be like, well, fuck this, fuck that. Sometimes you got to move forward. Right. Well, you got to understand the one that really is legitimate with you guys is the no call against the Rams. That one was the Saints Super Bowl. That one you would have gotten. But every other year, you weren't good enough. Like you were good, but another team was better than you. That was going to, but the 1 year, the year that the Rams went against the Patriots and they didn't score a whole lot of points, that was the year, and this is me as a Buck fan saying it, that was the year that you were going to win the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? The Rams weren't good enough offensively with Goff, but with Breeze and that defense, you would have maybe lost by 3 points, 2017 to the Patriots. But in all honesty, I think that you guys would have got your second Super Bowl that year, and they screwed you. That's the honest truth. You know what I mean? But other than that, that was the only year that you can bitch and moan about. Minneapolis Miracle and then losing to them when Kyle Rudolph pushed off. Yeah, you've had a lot of shit that has happened, but you got to be able to get yourself in a position in the game where it's not so close where it happens. You have to get up by 10, not be only up by 3-7, where something miracle can happen and then you get fucked and then the momentum leaves you. You have to make sure that you're up by 10 or more. So if they get that lucky bullshit play, you're still up by 3 and then you win. So. Yeah, exactly. You got one. But I'll tell you what, no other Buccaneer fan or Falcon fan or any Panther fan will say, you know what, you guys got screwed. And on top of that, you would have beat the Patriots and Tom Brady, and you would have won the Super Bowl that year. I mean, even some Saints fans don't even know if they could win that. But I know the real ones that watched that game and watched that year. That was your year, just like Tampa's year was Tampa's year. That was yours. And I don't give a shit what anyone says. Like I said, there's no Buck fans on YouTube anyways, I don't know what the hell they're doing, sipping margaritas and driving their boats, pretending to be Dexter, Well, I'm just grinding here on YouTube. I'm like, hey, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I'm right here. Yeah, that was one of the lower scoring shitty Super Bowls. It was just defense. But even though New England's defense was good, the Saints had a nice quality team on both sides. That was and like I said, I mean, some Saints fans, maybe are like, well, maybe we would have won, but if it's coming from me, and I'm like, you know what? I've been watching football since 1985. That was a special team. Like that was like, and I remember when you guys played the Colts, I was betting with friends, and I said to them, the X factor in the game is going to be Jeremy Shockey. And that is why the Saints are going to win the Super Bowl. I want a shitload of money because I knew, like, you have certain players that end up coming to a team and like a Reggie Bush, right? Like a Jeremy Shockey. And I'm like, yep, Colts have 0% chance of winning. I don't give a shit if Peyton Manning threw for 100 fucking touchdowns that year. You are not beating that team, especially with Jeremy Shockey and that energy, especially with the Reggie Bush. Like you had something special. You feel it. You know, Uncle Momentum, you feel it. Peter Strager, you feel it. Steal my material. Put it on Good Morning Football. People that watch, they know where it's coming from. You know what I'm saying? And I love his attitude at the U. I like that swagger, shit talking attitude if you can back it up. A little bit of crazy mixed in there as well. I like crazy. Controlled crazy. Shit talk in your face. You want to fight? Let's go. Like no backing down. And I would have loved to watch Jeremy Shockey play in this NFL because I think if he was playing now, he would easily be a top 5 tight end in his prime, and he'd be so fun to watch. He's always been one of my favorites. Regardless if it's Giants, Miami, the U, the Saints. He was special. Those guys don't come around. Like he embodied what shit talking is at the tight end position, but he backed it up. And he'll never go down as a Travis Kelce or a Tony Gonzalez or a Gronk or a Shannon Sharp. But when it mattered the most, he was one of the best guys on the field, no matter what team he was on. Like when he was out there with the U, you feared him. You knew he was going to do something crazy, and he was going to produce either swagger, confidence, or a touchdown or a big play, right? And then when he went to the Giants, he gave him that swagger that they never had, where you were afraid of him. You were like, "Oh, damn, this guy's fucking crazy." Like, I don't want to get in his grill. Intimidating, talk shit and backed it up. And it's like the one instance where you get a guy that talks shit, right? And I actually liked it. Like he wasn't on my team, but I approved of his behavior because he backed it up. It's like with that one special case where the shit talking guy, like I'm like, keep talking shit. I like this. This guy's awesome. I want him on my team. I remember saying that. And then when I bet with all those people, they're like, the Colts are going to win. I was like, give me your money then. I was like, Jeremy Shockey, X Factor, probably going to get a touchdown. And they're like, dog, you're dumb. And then money in my wallet. Yeah. But remember, it's not being the best team. It's being the hottest team. Just like when Aaron Rodgers had his run, when Joe Flacco went on his run and he threw like 20 touchdowns and no picks in the playoffs. How the hell did that happen? Uncle Mo, right? Joe Flacco, and think about how he was after that. He was kind of ass. Like there were some years where Flacco was like top 15, and then he got to a point where he was like top 30. And then during that playoff run, that was one of the best that we've ever seen. You're going through the whole playoffs and you throw 0 picks, and we're not talking about Peyton Manning or Tom Brady or Joe Montana or Patrick Mahomes. Joe fucking Flacco. But when you have a good offensive line, Jonathan Ogden, and a stud Ray Lewis, and then you also got Ed Reed, then it makes you believe that you're better than you are. Joe Flacco for a minute thought he was Joe Montana. He's like, Ray Lewis told me I'm Joe Montana. He screamed at me, and I believed it. And I was like, fuck, I guess I am Joe Montana. And then he played like it. He brainwashed that motherfucker to think that he was Joe Montana, and he played like it. And he even did better than Joe Montana. Joe Flacco. He Flaccoed that shit. Oh, man. That's why when they do those replays, Elliot, when they do the 30-minute specials on NFL films, they usually would do it the night before the Super Bowl, and you could watch it for like 24 hours. And they would do 30 minutes for every Super Bowl, and they do it like all day leading up to the Super Bowl. Then you get a good sense of knowledge, and you get to see the old footage and learn about the NFL. I guarantee you, if you watch that from beginning to end, you will be 1,000 times smarter than you are now. Like, it'll give you a better understanding, even if you've seen clips, even if you've seen highlights on Twitter or Instagram. Like, to actually watch the narration of the 30 minutes of each Super Bowl, it's awesome. You get the backstage stuff, you get the locker room stuff, you get the sideline chatter, and then you get to see some of the best players that have ever put on cleats in the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s. It's incredible. And early 2000s. Saints, Colts, you do? Awesome. Yeah, I got the Buccaneers one. I even have, what's really crazy? I have one of the rarest items as far as a fan. I actually have a never worn hologram still attached with price tag. I have an official Super Bowl 37 Buccaneers t-shirt, officially the one that Gruden and all the team wore. It's in my closet. And most people, they don't have the Super Bowl shirt, let alone never worn, let alone with tag, let alone with hologram, serial numbered. Like most people wore it or took the tag off, or it's lost or it's thrown away. But I got mine, and people will pay like $100, $150 for it because it just doesn't fucking exist anymore. Like no one has that shit. and as well as like not in like mint condition. That's like a prized item for me. Like I got a lot of Tampa jerseys and whatnot, and my vintage Derek Brooks sewn from like 99, 2000 is over 20 years old. Reebok, it's stitched. It's nice. You know what I mean? That one's really special for me as an old one, but the shirt, the Super Bowl shirt, that's special. Can't wear it though. Got to keep it pristine. I also have a Dame Dalla Series 1 Dame shirt when he first launched his shoe line and clothing line, and his D, on the shirt, it's like Dame, and then on the bottom of the shirt on the back, it's got like not like a Bible verse, but like little quotes, on the back. And people have offered like $100 for that shirt. It's just a T-shirt, but it's limited edition, white Dame. It goes for like 50 to 100. Yeah, I'm not selling that. And I got Dame Dalla Rose City Reds. I don't know what Dame shoe they're on now, like 7, 8, 9. But I got some, Dame, very first Dame Dalla, Dame ones, Rose City Reds. And I got Dame ones, Dame twos, and then the threes with the Rose City Reds. Those are incredible. They got roses on them. The whole shoe is red. I'm not even a big fan of like a red shoe. Never wore them. They still got the fresh smell in the box. And then, usually those would go for 100 to 120 initially. You usually over time those will end up being $200 to $350 shoes, maybe even higher. There's not a lot of them. It's like one of the most coveted Dame that you can get besides the PDX carpet. But the Rose City Reds is a vibe. Like I said, I'll show them sometime on the channel. They're pretty dope. But those are one of the only pairs of sneakers that I have besides custom Tampa Bay Buccaneer painted ones. Well, my friend Megan is in Hawaii right now. I had to hit her with the awesome photos. Hana, Hawaii. I've never been to Hawaii. I should go. But if I go to Hawaii, I'd probably end up with a girlfriend or something. So, DVD collections of the America's Game episodes. Oh, man, that's cool. 66 to 2005. That's awesome. And I love watching the old stuff. Like I said, you can watch the newer stuff from like, 2005 on, but I think the stuff from the 60s to 2005 is like amazing, Oh, not available on DVD? Oh, but it's got the Katrina. Yeah, because that was a big part of them rallying together. Because like I said, if you guys didn't have Katrina, you guys rallied as a community and as a people. And a lot of people died. A lot of people lost their homes. A lot of people lost their businesses. But you saw like even people that were like enemies or people that didn't like each other, like helping each other out because you have to at that point. And it brought people together there. And, people have become much tighter in that window. So, and sometimes you can take advantage in sports when you come together, as a community and as a team and as a fan base and as a state and cities. So I hope they are. But they don't understand why it happened. It's just that bad juju and sports karma. That's why. Otherwise, if it wasn't like that, then you wouldn't be losing to a team like the Raiders. Everyone, the bottom line, Elliot, is like, even for me, people don't like rooting for the NFC South. People look at us as like bullies or like enemies. Like they don't like, other fans looking in, they want to like beat us. They don't root for us. You know what I mean? Like they don't want us to represent. But at least when we get there, the Saints and Bucks were able to win. Panthers and Falcons weren't. But hopefully the Panthers and Falcons can make it in the next 50 years so they can feel what it's like to be a champion, because everyone should have that feeling at least once in life with the team or on a personal team if you play like sports growing up as a kid. You got to be able to experience what it's like to win a championship or to earn a championship as a fan or as a player. I was lucky enough to win one championship when I was a kid, 7th grade. I had some of the coolest OG dudes, and we ended up winning like so many tournaments in Washington and Oregon, and it was a special, special vibe. I'll never forget it. A lot of tight bonds that are created, and I still got the trophy. I still got the trophy in the fucking drawer right there. Shit means something. Every team from the NFC South has been there. And the thing is when the Saints and the Bucks are good, right? We're fucking real good. Like, don't fuck with us. Like, okay, you want to battle me? I'm 2-0 in Super Bowls like the Ravens. You want to fuck with my defense? All right, good luck. My offense might not be the greatest, and I'm cool with that. But if my defense can carry us, it'll show you what defense is supposed to be, in that particular year. Like we represent and we show, dude, we fucking shut down the number one offense and Rich Gannon, right? Tim Brown and Jerry Rice, number one offense all year. We shut them down with Brooks and Sapp and Lynch, right? Simeon Rice. And then we did it, obviously, recently, right? We shut down Patrick Mahomes and scored 0 touchdown passes. Think about how crazy that is, you know? It's an anti-South bias thing, but they hate the Saints the most because of how you guys are as a fan base. They don't mind the Bucks and the Falcons and the Panthers. I think it's more they like to make fun of us, type of thing. But you can't really make fun of the Saints and Bucks because we win shit. And then what are you going to make fun of the Panthers? They've been good at times. They have Cam Newton. They went 15-1. They're kind of likable. I like Steve Smith. What's wrong with them? And then you want to make fun of the Falcons because 28-3. Now look at their team. I mean, Kyle Pitts, Drake London, Bajan. I don't know, kind of swaggy. NFC South is swag, man. I think they just want to hate on our swagger. Like they can't handle our swagginess. It's like, yeah, we know the Panthers are bad, but Falcons are kind of on the up and up. The Buccaneers are always fresh and clean. We're kind of like, you don't have to like us or love us, but you can tolerate us. We've had legends, Sapp, Brooks, Lynch, Barber, Mike Allstott. Like, who can really honestly say I hate those guys? Like, those guys are awesome. The Saints won the most games in the regular season in a 4 or 5 year period. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I know that as a Bucks fan because I know how you beat our ass every year. Yeah, you guys literally were winning like 12 to 14 games for like a 4 year stretch where you guys won like fucking crazy, like 48 games in 4 years, which is like 12 win average. You guys were phenomenal. But you guys got the Minneapolis Miracle, which was Stephon Diggs. That was just fucking crazy, right? And then you got ripped off with the referee and the Rams. Then you got the push off, obviously with Kyle Rudolph, which was bullshit, right? And then the Buccaneers punched you in the mouth after you punched us in the mouth twice. You gave me black eyes in the regular season twice. But you know what? It's hard to beat a team 3 times in a row, and I got you. I got you. Antoine Winfield Jr., Devin White punched that football out. Jared Cook, sorry. Bing bong, and I had Tom Brady. I mean, what the fuck, man? I mean, anyone, and my team was already built. But the main reason we won, Tristan Wirfs and Antoine Winfield Jr. and Devin White. Like, if we didn't have those 3 guys, we wouldn't have won. Even with Tom Brady and Gronk and AB, that's all nice and fine. But if you don't have Tristan Wirfs on the line and you don't have Antoine Winfield, like we literally had 2 top 5 players at their position as rookies and we didn't even know it. And then Devin White, and Levante David. It's like having those, key pieces on defense and then that amazing offensive lineman, like that changed the game. And if we didn't have that, and you're never going to hear a Buck fan say that because they're too stupid. Tom Brady, AB, bro. It's O-line and defense. And look at Tristan Wirfs. He moved from right tackle to left tackle, and he's doing just as good, if not better. Like, the guy is a freak. He's like a first ballot Hall of Famer already. And Antoine Winfield Jr. is already one of the top 5 safeties in his position. Some people think he's top 2, top 3. That's high praise. Jared Cook was your favorite. Yeah. Oh, of course. You already know how it goes. Saints fans hate the Panthers. Saints fans hate the Falcons even more. Saints fans hate the Bucks. But guess who the Saints fans hate the most? Themselves and every other Saints fan in the chat. They get argued. They just argue. It's like it gets to a point where it's just ridiculous, and then it's like toxic, where it's like all you're supposed to do is be Saints fans and like love each other and like vibe with each other. We're like, we're the Saints, fuck everybody else, but then it ends up being like this big fight, and then the Saints fans are like, golly, these guys, I can't even talk to these guys. Because you actually get smart Saints fans in the chat, but then you get the dumb ones that ruin it, right? Or the ones that are just delusional. And you're like, I can't even have a fucking football conversation with this motherfucker. Fucking dummy. Well, Penning in some shit. Saints draft lineman. Well, you already know when the Saints do a draft, and I know this as a Buck fan. Every time they draft, there's big names that are sitting there like Asante Samuel Jr. Ooh, that would be perfect. Every Saint fan is in agreement. So, like, yes, this is a top 3 option. He's sitting there. Boom, we're going to get him. And then what did the Saints do? And then all of a sudden, and the Saints select Paulson Adebo. And you're like, what? It ends up working out most of the time, but then initially in the draft, like, you fucking dummy. But they always pick like their guy. They don't ever pick the best available talent. They pick the guy that they think is going to work the best in the Saints system. Kind of like when Pete Carroll does it for the Seahawks. So you'll have this like dangling carrot of a better player, but then they just hope that the no-name guy ends up being better. You know, that's what you guys do on the regular. Well, at least we got a guy a victory, so that's good. I got to go walk my dog, and tomorrow I guess we're gonna do the Kraken. I'll do a poll tomorrow in the morning, but at this moment we're going to be doing the Kraken and the Golden Knights at 7:30 Pacific, and then I will watch the Blackhawks and the Penguins to watch the Rookie and Sidney Crosby. I'm can't wait to see that. That'll be cool. And then I also will be watching baseball. Watch a little bit. Diamondbacks 4 Dodgers too. Watch out now. And then I'll be watching a little bit of the Stros and Twins. Go Twins. And then watch Orioles and Rangers. So we're either going to do Orioles, Rangers, or Kraken and Golden Knights, but we're probably going to do the Kraken and because it's 2 good teams. I mean, I know the playoff game would be cool too, but might as well do Kraken, right? That is actually one of the best drafts as far as football is concerned, not just Saints all time, but like in general, that's one of the best drafts in the last 20 years. In fact, Doe's dog. Yeah, we're going to take off. We're going to take off. And then I'm glad I didn't win in fantasy, but at least we got a guy the victory. So at least that makes my heart feel kind of good. And I had to hit with the old school Oakland Raider spinning logo because they don't even have a Las Vegas one. So I was like, maybe that'll give good luck. And guess what? It did. Because Elliot and me were like, they're going to win. And because Elliot and O-Dog said so, and everyone else was like, Packers, right? We didn't buy into that bullshit, right? I said, I feel that it's going to be electric and they're going to find a way. And then boom shakalaka. Guess what? It happened. Well, I appreciate everyone that came in, donated, commented, shared. Me, Elliot, and a guy. We got to celebrate a little victory. Love it. And we'll be back tomorrow with either some baseball playoffs or some hockey. Kraken, baby. Either Rangers and Orioles or Kraken and Golden Knights. Can't wait. Appreciate every single one of y'all. Thank you for everything that you guys do. And I'll be back tomorrow with some more reaction videos on the football side all morning, afternoon, and then we'll hit you with a live stream in the evening. And I got one question for you. Who you don't talk sports like us? Your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics, and I'm out. Bye.